right. Hopefully we have no countdown because no countdown because my countdown was Pacman Fever. He's not here yet, so that's not gonna work. So we're gonna hope that Jerry still comes, and we're gonna get going on the show and maybe do things in reverse order and hope things turn out. Let me mute my YouTube streams so I don't hear myself twice with an echo.
That's a good thing.
Yes, welcome to Steps Arcade Bash. We have Mikey J Productions here, and we have Papa Brad. Papa Brad is a Berserk expert.
I love Berserk. Yeah,
you love Berserk?
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, which was
I'm a newbie, so
yeah, you're a newbie.
I'm a newbie to Berserk. Yeah,
awesome. So. I am a newbie to Berserk as well, but I first heard of Berserk when I was listening to that Pacman Fever album, which is why I invited Jerry Buckner on the show tonight. So still hoping to hear from him, but we wanted to start the show because it was after 9 o'clock. Papa Brad has that.
Come on, Jerry. Got your album Pacman Fever right here.
Yeah, so it's a great album. I mean, it's got 8 songs, a lot of games. You got an autograph by Jerry. That's awesome. To Brad. What's he say?
Keep the fever.
Keep the
fever. Wow. And you met him at a convention years ago?
Yeah, I met him. I think it was Houston Arcade Expo.
Yeah.
And he was awesome. He was a cool guy.
Cool.
I got he gave this year I bought this awesome Pacman Fever CD, which the funny thing is I don't even have a CD player anymore. So like,
really?
I don't know what to do with it. I don't have a CD player. My last CD player was in my car, and my car CD player stopped working.
But it's autographed, so you should keep it.
It is autographed. And now this was the cool thing to get autographed. These are the patterns to beat Pac-Man.
Really?
You saw the stream where I rolled over Pac-Man, the short I put up?
Yeah.
I flip over the score and I roll over the score. This is how you do it.
It just keeps going, right? Never ending, just like Berserk.
Until it runs out of memory, it'll eventually crash, but it's like 256 levels I think you have to play. But look.
But so how many patterns is that?
I got my patterns for Pac-Man.
Signed for your wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
So
Tony C says no CD player. Next, Papa Brad will say he doesn't have a laser disc player. That is so funny, man. Cool. Biggie D's here. What's up, everybody? And my friend Rick, he's impressed that he has a wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no. Anyway, the whole reason I even started the concept of the show tonight was because I was really getting interested in Berserk and Frenzy, the New Wave Toys line, and I'm gonna bring that screen up. How about that? Let's see. There we go. Now, the Berserk, the Frenzy, and the combination unit. And these are 1/6 arcade scales. And have you pre-ordered one, Brad, or no?
No, I'm on the fence though. I do love Berserk. But you know,
Mike Hawkhurts is here. You're on the fence. You love Berserk.
They are super cool though. They're super cool.
You own one though, a New Wave Toys,
yeah,
right?
yeah. I have this one. I was going to show you. I have this Cubert, which I like. It's really nice.
That's actually pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like bigger than your. Is it bigger than your head?
About the same size. I don't know.
About the same size?
Yeah, it's about the same size. But I mean, they do such a good job. It's really awesome. It's really authentic. It's got the knocker in it when you're playing.
Carl O is here. What's up, Steps? Biggie D, Papa Brad, Mikey, Ricardo, Tony C, Mike Hawk. Saying hi to everybody. Yeah, you always have that in the background. I could hear the little Cubert making noise.
Yeah, the Cubert making noise.
Yeah.
But these things are cool, man. They are super, super detailed. I mean, look, they even put a little padlock in the back where
that's pretty cool.
They didn't have to do that. It's like all the stuff they do. It's just it's so cool. And it comes in a box, it looks like it's got the danger thing, electricity.
How'd you acquire that?
I bought it.
See, I collect a lot of action figures. If I started collecting those, I'd be building an arcade for my action figures.
Yeah. If you start, I don't know. You have so many Legos, man. You got like Legoland in your house.
I do.
Like literally Legoland in your house. I don't know. Like, do you have any rooms that are like used for watching TV or sleeping, or
Oh yeah, we have
Wonderful.
a living room and bedroom and kitchen. We keep like all my arcade stuff's out here and all the Lego stuff's in the basement. But everything else it's just regular house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I was talking to Brad about this earlier. The Frenzy is all beat up on purpose, intentionally. It's like, and I think he was telling me that if he got a Frenzy, that's
I
what it
want
would
that
be.
beat up one.
But that's the only one they're making. That's the only one. They're not making the normal one, but maybe they'll make the normal one later. But I think it's pretty cool. I didn't know I liked Frenzy until I saw it in that Chuck Norris movie. And I saw him walk by the machine, and then I'm like, oh, that arcade. That's pretty awesome, you know?
I think Frenzy must be a real rarity too. Like just going to a lot of arcades and doing a lot of arcade tours. I've never seen a Frenzy.
Yeah.
Seen plenty of Berserks, but the Frenzy is pretty rare. I've never come across one. You know, I've played it a lot in MAME, of course, but I mean the actual machine in real life, touching the real machine, it's pretty rare.
So that's saying something coming from Papa Brad.
Because I have a lot of arcade tours on my channel, some really big arcades too.
So if you see a Frenzy out in the wild, you know, that's a little bit of a unicorn there.
Yeah,
that is a unicorn.
Take a picture of it. Yeah.
Take a picture of it. Make a short on YouTube.
You know what?
Share the magic.
I didn't even know to
look
look
your phone
for
and share the magic.
When I've been to that arcade in Chicago, Galloping Ghost, I've been there twice. I'm sure it's probably there.
They might have one.
Yeah. But the Berserk looks shiny and new. And I think they changed what they do now. They used to let me see if I could get a better view. They made it say Atari instead of Stern since Atari bought it. But now the ones I've seen on their Facebook group is Stern STURN. So they just changed the spelling of it.
They misspelled it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dark Realm Gaming.
That is interesting.
Is here in the chat. And Mike Hawkers, hey Brad, did you get your Killer Instinct cab?
I sure did. Yesterday. Just came in.
Just came in. So how many 1-ups are in your house right now?
Oh man, a lot. a lot. Let me think.
A lot?
I have to go count them. I have so many. I have a lot.
Yeah. Which one gets the most play, man?
Probably the Atari Tempest cab gets the most play.
Do you have a Centipede, or does Centipede you just play Centipede in the Tempest?
I play Centipede on the Tempest cab. That's my Atari arcade 1-up that I have.
Yeah,
but I like that one. I have the Namco one. I like that one. It's themed like Pac-Man. I have the Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I have a Big Blue. I have a KI. I have a Defender Partycade. I have a Ridge Racer.
You have a Ridge Racer? Have you modded it yet?
I have not.
No?
That's probably the one that gets the least amount of play. If you want to ask which one gets the least amount of play, probably Ridge Racer.
Yeah.
Ridge Racer.
But I drive 2 hours every day. The last thing I want to do when I'm off is grab the steering wheel again. You know, I'm like, I don't know. I've had enough steering wheels for a week. You know, by time. But you know, my grandkids like it. They go and they play the Ridge Racer.
So
I've played it a bunch. I can't get past the second race. It seems like impossible. And I've played it like every time I play it, I just get to the same spot.
Yeah. Oh, so I'm gonna get back to Dark Realm, but Mitchell B says I have 10, but I'm getting rid of some soon. At one point, I had 7 or 8, and I have 3 now. Yeah. It's kind of it's refreshing. It's refreshing.
Well, that's what I was saying before stream. Like the what we're doing to our iircades and everything, it's making me rethink some things, and you know, priorities on which cabs and everything is, you know, kind of up in the air right now in my arcade. I'm sure you guys are feeling it as well.
But I agree. And, you know, as much as I love my arcade 1-up Namco Pacman cab, you know, I can fire up the real class of 1981 ROM with every version of Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man and Galaga and play the best versions of all those games.
And you have the four-way gate selector.
I have the four-way gate, so like the controls are perfect. I mean, it's hard. There's a lot of repetition now.
Yeah.
But
In
That's an
case,
incredible mod, by the way.
yeah, I had some people join the stream now. In case you're wondering, I had confirmation from Jerry Buckner. He said he would love to do it. I sent him the times. He said we're good, and I haven't heard from him this evening. So I am pivoting at this point. Hopefully he joins us. He has an open invite. He has an open link. And hopefully he will join us. I was very specific Eastern and Pacific times and what they were. So hopefully we're good. If not, maybe we could reschedule. But we are going to continue on with a Berserk celebration right now and talking about the New Wave Toys line. I've not had a New Wave Toys as of yet. I would like to get to the point where I could afford to buy maybe this Berserk because it's coming out in January, I think. And that would be a good one to try. Obviously they're not too expensive. They don't break the bank like the Arcade 1-Up. They're not big. They don't take up a lot of space, and they're more true and real to the real thing, which I really enjoy about the product. And I've been really eyeballing this Berserk and the Frenzy, and I've been even more interested in the Frenzy now that I saw that you probably saw my short with Walker Texas Ranger on it, and
don't mess with Chuck.
That made me a lot more interested in the Frenzy. But going back to Dark Realm's question, Dark Realm asked about what is Frenzy, and so Frenzy is a sequel to Berserk. The gameplay is, I think, a little bit more open than Berserk. Like Berserk has more rules, I believe. Like when Berserk, I think you can't walk into the wall, you can't shoot the wall, right?
Yeah.
And in Frenzy, you can.
There are different kinds of walls. There are walls that reflect your bullets and make them reflect like a mirror. Like you shoot your bullet at a wall and it comes right back at you if you're in front of it.
Yeah.
So it really makes you think a lot when you're playing the game.
So Dark Realm, I never heard of Berserk before I listened to the Pacman Fever album, and I probably listened to that album for a good 7 years before I ever played Berserk. And I absolutely love that song, Going Berserk. It's one of my favorites on the album, so that's what kind of I thought about it when I saw these New Wave Toy Berserks. It made me think of the song, and then I got the game, I downloaded it, and I played it, and I've been having a really good time. Kurt Mason says, hey, I missed that earlier. Carl O, ALP 4KP, ALP, ALU 4KP, iircade with Gleno deck and Viper board is all you need. Okay.
So you need track 8.
That's a lot, man. ALP 4K, right? The 4K AtGames Legends.
He has multiple ALUs. He's got several ALUs.
Why do you need
several pinballs? I think he's got 2 pinballs and he might have 3 I don't know how many ALUs he has.
He has multiple. He has me doing math. I'm doing math looking at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do we need that many AtGames products? Don't they all do the same thing? But hey, if you love AtGames,
it makes it feel like an arcade.
You love AtGames.
Yeah, you can put each one on a different machine. You can have each one booted up to a different game.
Right.
Change the feel of your game room, just like any multicade.
I kickstarted the ColecoVision mini caps for Berserk, Frenzy, and a driving game. I can't remember the name now. There's a ColecoVision mini cab. I thought it was a mini console with a keyboard.
No. There's remember those like plastic ones with like the little tiny joysticks. The Coleco ones.
Now I gotta look that up. It's ColecoVision Mini.
But now the original ones had like they had those LED type screens, and this thing's gonna have like a little tiny real screen in there. I guess a tiny LCD or something.
This is showing me a ColecoVision flashback by AtGames or something.
Yeah, I have one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that was the first way I played Frogger. I mean, that was before my time, but I played Frogger at my friend's house, and he had it, and I played Frogger on ColecoVision, and that's how I first played Frogger. Coleco is a
Tony C says it's a Kickstarter.
It's a Kickstarter.
You have to go to Kickstarter to find it, probably.
All right.
Well, wasn't Berserk on 2600 as well?
Yeah,
2600. Yes,
100%.
that's the version that
I think that's the version I played the most. Yeah,
that's the version that as for home is what it's known for. And the reason why I just went to the Atari 2600 Plus, if I could see around my own light, because I wasn't planning on using the second monitor yet, but it's coming out a Berserk Enhanced Edition with the Atari 2600 Plus.
Yeah,
And
I have it.
so that's going to be more like the arcade version. Now, this ROM's been out a while, but to be able to get it on a physical cartridge is kind of cool. And it's $30, so it's reasonable. I mean, you get an old school game cartridge.
mm-hmm.
I think it's pretty cool. Peasants can't hunt in the King's Forest. What's he referring to, Brad?
Well, and in my opinion, the 2600 and 7800 are two of the cooler systems to collect for. And it just in my personal opinion, I think that the old Atari stuff is fun to collect.
Is that the original Berserk?
No, this is the one with the speech.
Oh, it is.
Atari Age released.
Did they release
with
it?
Speech? Yeah.
Is that a legal one?
Yeah. This was released by Atari Age, but it's called Berserk Voice Enhanced Berserk.
So what's the difference between that one and the one they're?
I don't know. I don't know if they're redoing it again.
Yeah.
But Atari Age made this, and it's basically the Berserk game, but with speech. And you don't need anything. It just works with your regular 2600.
The peasant version of Buck Hunter. They don't really have a peasant version. It came with the riser, and then it came to deluxe. Is the regular Buck Hunter Pro now the peasant version? Atari 2600 Plus, Atari Gold 50th Flashback. Which one should you get? That's a question for Brad. Brad is an Atari expert. He has every Atari console ever.
I know. I don't know about the 2600 Plus because I don't have it yet. I will have a very strong opinion once I get it. But there's a ton of good of Atari systems out there. I mean, they have the Retron 77 is really good. You can actually make a card on it that will have every Atari game because it can run a flash card.
What kind of controller does it have?
It uses real Atari controls.
Does it? See,
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I mean, to me, that's what it's going to come down to when we're talking about emulation here.
Yeah.
Is what the joystick is like.
Yeah, I have the Retron 77 right in front of me here.
A lot of people are planning on buying the new joystick to use with their old console because it'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
I don't recall the name of the games.
There's the Retron 77 right there.
Yeah. That looks pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I think this is like the next level, though. I mean, this new one is cool. It looks more like an Atari.
Yeah.
Does
that play actual cartridges at Retron as well?
Yeah. It plays Atari cartridges. Now, I know when Steps was on Glenn's show, he was talking about the 5200. Well, the 5200 is a totally different size cartridge.
Yeah.
So you're running into like a compatibility problem. Like there's the Retron with the cartridge in it. They even reversed the direction so you can see the label. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
But I like Atari stuff. I can't wait to check it out. I mean, the one thing that the Retron doesn't do well is paddle emulation. So like your paddles, they're a little jittery on this particular version of Atari emulation. So I mean, just if it has good paddles, I mean, Atari has a ton of games, and Atari is super cheap to collect for. You can get some of the best cartridges for like $1. You know?
Oh yeah.
I mean, like the Berserk cartridge, that's probably a $1 cartridge. I mean, it's great too. It's still fun to play.
I mean, I'm by no means the Atari
original
collector you are, Brad, but this was probably about 8-9 years ago now. I was at a flea market, and for $30 I got a 2600 and 20 games or something.
Yeah.
2 controllers. Yeah.
I keep hearing your Q-Bert.
Oh, I'll turn you off.
No, it's cool. It's funny.
It's okay.
But I couldn't pass it up. I'm like $30 for the 2600 and all these games.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Hey, guess what? Biggie D came back. What's up, everybody? What's up, arcade gamers?
Yeah.
Want to play rare or expensive Atari games? Can't in the Atari 2600 Plus.
But the 7800 is actually more my jam than the 2600.
Yeah.
Growing up, I had access to the 2600, but it wasn't something that was at our house all the time. But then we did get the 7800 because, you know, I had relatives and stuff that were Atari fans and stuff that were older than me. And so we were one of the few people that had the 7800 when it was new. And I have fond memories of playing pole position 2 and stuff on the 7800.
There it is.
There it is.
Pole position 2.
Yeah.
Like these carts, I actually got just mixed in with other carts that I bought.
Mm-hmm.
So like if any of these work, I'm gonna be like thrilled. But I got Joust and pole position and Robotron.
But the problem with the 7800, it came out with head to head against the NES.
NES, yeah. It was doomed because the NES was awesome.
Yeah. And at the time, the NES was doing something different, you know, with the D-pad controller and everything. It was, you know, and games like Duck Hunt. I mean, it was offering something that the Atari didn't. But when it came to playing, you know, some of the games that were on both systems, there are some examples of the 7800 versions being better than the NES versions.
Yeah. The 7800 is the library of games isn't that big either. I think when I looked online, there was like 56 games maybe. So like, I mean, if you want to collect something and get the whole set, I mean, 7800 is a small, like if you wanted to have them all, it's not that big of a game library.
It isn't. And another thing, if you're an arcade fan, they're not arcade perfect ports on the 7800, no. But for
retro versions,
for retro versions on home consoles, there's a lot of really good classic arcade games.
You got all the big names. You got Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, Robotron, Joust.
And they're all going to play well, yeah.
Centipede. I mean, I was looking at the library, and you know, I think I'll enjoy it. You know, if the emulation's good, I think it'll be fun, something new to explore. I even went on AntStream and played some 7800 games. I played all the ones on there to check out some of the ones I never heard of. And they were pretty fun. I played this one. It was called Desert Falcon. It was really cool. It was like a shmup and you're a bird. Have you ever seen that game?
Yeah,
you can land, game. You can walk around, and then you can fly.
Yeah.
That was cool. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't really understand it all yet, but it was cool enough that, you know, if you're into retro games, I think they got some cool stuff.
And there was we talk about, maybe somebody in the chat can help me out. But we talk about what was the original fight game or fighting game, and there was one on the 7800. It was called like Karate or something like that. And
Karateka.
Yeah.
Karateka. Yeah, that looked cool.
That's
I had that like on the Commodore 64 or something. I played that back in the day.
Yeah, that's one of the original fighting games, if we're honest. You know.
Yeah. The 7800 had some of the games that were also on like the original home computers, like the Commodore and the Atari 400, 800. They had some of the same titles. So Jason says that Ninja Golf is great. I've never played that, and I've heard that is pretty cool. You can check that out on AntStream.
But what I loved about the 7800 was, because again, that's the one that I grew up with in my house. And not only, you know, could you play the new 7800 controllers, but you could plug in the 2600 controllers and you could play the whole 2600 library.
Yeah, so the 7800 was like, well, I don't know if it was the first, but it was backwards compatible.
So you had a huge library of games, you know, to play, and that's really like Ghostbusters on Atari. Believe it or not, I can make certain arguments that that's better than the one that came out on the NES. Like there's certain games like that were on Atari that like I loved, yeah.
And like I said, Atari is the ultimate budget thing to collect. If you're into really old retro games, it is really cheap. Like all the best games are dirt cheap because they sold a gazillion of them. You know.
Do you have Ghostbusters on the 2600?
Yeah, I have it. I have the Activision cart.
That's the first video game that I ever bought with like my own money. Like I remember I got some money for, I don't know if it was Christmas or a birthday or something, and I went to Toys R Us and I wanted a video game, and that was Toys R Us used to have like these envelopes. Oh yeah, there it is.
There you go, Mikey.
And
there you go.
Yeah, That's the first video game I ever owned. I don't have it anymore either. Sad to say. I would love to find one out in the wild one day.
Actually, I paid $10 for this one though. This one was a little more rare, $9.99. It still has the Second and Charles sticker on it because you can buy Atari games there. But yeah, there's Ghostbusters. Hey, if you get one of those 2600s, I'm going to send you this cart. I'm going to send you this. If you get that machine, I'll send you this cart so you can enjoy it.
The 2600 plus.
Yeah, I've only played it a few times, but I would send it to you.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah,
I am. What is it? It's like 130 or something like that.
It's about $130. There's a coupon. I think you can get like 15% off though. That's floating around.
That's not too bad.
So now we get to run the show, huh? Steps left.
Yeah.
So we're in charge now. Hey, look, we got Rexer's show in the chat. He's the number one up channel. Number one up channel. He says he loves arcade one up talk. We were talking about Atari, old school Atari.
But what I was saying about when I bought the Ghostbusters on Atari 2600, at Toys R Us they had envelopes, and in the envelope there was a little piece of paper, and you'd have to take the piece of paper up to the person at the counter, and then they would give you the game. Yeah. And it's just, when you think about, buying games like that now, it seems like it's such a foreign concept.
Yeah.
Like now they have them in plastic cases.
Yeah, games are just codes, unlock codes to download them from the internet anymore. Anyway, you don't really buy a game anymore. Like, even if you buy a physical copy, it's like it just reads a code that downloads the game to your console anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But back when Atari and the NES, that was all physical media.
Yeah.
You actually that was actual. You bought the actual media that made it run.
And then some of the other Atari games I played a lot was Pitfall 2.
Yeah, the Activision games are great.
And then I think it's just called Combat. And
yeah,
it's
the original one, the Pacman game.
Shooting game.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved that game.
Pitfall 2, man.
Yeah.
Dude, we'll do a game exchange if you get one. Look at this Pitfall. I almost have a complete Activision collection. The only games I'm missing now out of my Activision, the only ones I'm missing are Double Dragon and Hero. I can't find Hero.
Oh.
I can find it, but I don't want to pay like $100 or $80 for it. I mean, people have them, but it's like I don't mind paying more, but I don't want to pay that much.
I have Asteroids, Bowling, E.T., Ms. Pac-Man, Pele Soccer.
Asteroids, that's a great one. Miss Pac-Man's a great game on the 2600's fun.
Solaris, Star Raiders,
towards the end.
Yar's Revenge.
Yar's is great.
And Grand Prix.
There you go. See, you already got a good little collection going.
Yeah.
Dude, I had no idea that they were going to do this. I just got rid of a ton of my duplicates too. I had a mountain of duplicate cartridges. Just got rid of a bunch of them. But Mega Mania was a great game. I still play that one all the time. I might have that in my box to keep out.
Rexer Show says if anyone has a 2600 and wants to sell it, let him know. Rachel Dello's here. Says, hey, all. Rexer Show's looking for a good Pitfall. Mike Hawkhurt's Killer Instinct arrived yesterday.
Ooh.
Butterfinger's favorite is Pitfall 2 and Hero.
Yeah, I love Hero. This is my box of what I'm playing right now. Like, I keep one box of just like all the carts that I'm playing like right now.
Yeah.
Because I have so many. I have big bins full of them. But these are all the ones I'm playing right now. Got a lot of good ones in here. But yeah, Activision, they did a lot of the best cards. Because it was people that a lot of the people that started Activision were people that used to work for Atari, but they didn't get any money for making these games. You know, a lot of these games they got so they formed their own company.
And they just ported stuff out themselves, didn't they? And cut Atari out.
And the cool thing about the 7800 that a lot of people don't know is I think it's a General Computing Dynamics. It's the company that made Miss Pac-Man. They actually created a lot of the best Atari games. If you go through and you look at the Atari games, like the people that created Miss Pac-Man, they created some of the best cards. So like I just go and look for the ones that they made, and they're usually some of the best games. Like they did like Centipede on the 2600. They did Asteroids on the 7800. But like they did a lot of games for Atari.
Oh, and she's back.
You're muted.
You're muted.
I know I'm muted. I'm letting Jerry in right now. Jerry, we're going live, okay?
Awesome.
All right. Jerry is here. We had some technology issues, and I was helping him through it. Are you here, Jerry?
I think I am. Yeah. I'm trying.
All right.
That's awesome.
I apologize for being late to everybody. I just, I have no excuse. I just got messed up. I had the wrong time. Sorry.
We're just ecstatic you're here because I absolutely love obviously Pacman Fever and that whole album, and I enjoy music before I enjoy video games, but I love both. And to have the combination here, and to have the godfather of video game rock here is just amazing.
If you're referring to me, that's the first. I've been called a lot of things. I've never been called that. That's great.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know. Yeah. There's no classic arcade songs bigger than Pacman Fever. I mean, I lived through Pacman Fever, and I'll tell you, that was a whole cultural phenomenon. I mean, it just exploded.
Well, you're exactly right. It did. It was amazing. It was a monster. It just took over. And what really helped it was television. Back then, TV was still king, you know, and we started getting play in Florida over the holidays, and then people that were on vacation went back north and were calling the radio stations to hear the song. And then a show called Entertainment Tonight. I don't even know if that's still on the air, but they did a story about us, and then it just exploded, and it just went crazy. It just, I mean, it fit the craze of what was going on. I mean, people were standing in line with, you know, quarters in their hands waiting to get on these machines. It was just amazing.
It was definitely a historic time, you know, especially for video games.
I remember playing Pong and thinking that was a big deal, you know.
Yeah. They had Pac-Man everything. They had Pac-Man hats and shirts and lunch boxes and you name it. Pac-Man socks. Pac-Man was everything, you know.
Yeah, it consumed everybody and everything for a while. Yeah, it's still big. I mean, it's amazing.
And even go ahead, Steps. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say we did an introduction here, but some people are in here may or may not know of Pacman Fever. I was gonna show a clip here real quick. It's only a minute long of the Pacman Fever song.
All right.
So let me do that real quick.
Okay.
Yep. There's your Pac-Man, Brad. So Jerry,
I would of
go
all the
ahead.
shows to pick. that,
Well,
there's a whole
yeah.
story that goes with that.
Yes, I know. And so I had American Bandstand as my countdown intro. I was going to air that, and then I had this to ask you a question, and but I didn't end up doing the countdown because we started a little bit late. But the reason why I wanted to bring that up is because I wanted to know, Gary Garcia there is the lead singer, and you are on keyboard, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. And so when that show happened, there's and by the way, if you don't have Jerry's book, there's a link in the description for his book for Pacman Fever. It's a story of Pacman Fever. I did buy it myself this week, and I did enjoy it. It's a quick read. It's very nostalgic and a great trip down memory lane, and I do recommend picking it up. It's $5 for the ebook or $10 for the paperback. But when I was reading it, I read about the story of Solid Gold, and I had never seen it. And I turned on that video, and it wasn't just the story that you had about that. I was wondering, well, let me ask you this question first, and I'll get back into it. But was when Gary asked you to say, well, let's do something a little bit different, was he trying to rib you, or was it just like a fluke occurrence?
No, I think he was being sincere. He said, let's dress a little crazy or whatever. And I said, well, okay, I can do that. But his idea of crazy and mine apparently wasn't the same. And so when we ended up at the studio to tape the show, when we went into separate dressing rooms, when I stepped out, I'm dressed in this crazy outfit, and he was dressed pretty much like normal, except for a little Pac-Man thing in his glasses. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? And then we heard, they said, Buckner Garcia to the stage area or whatever. So I had no chance. I couldn't change. Mm-hmm. So we go out there and walk up on the stage, and Marilyn McCoo was introducing us on the show. And she looked at me and she said, who are you supposed to be? And I said, an idiot, I mean, I really felt it was so stupid. And I never forget when the show aired here in Atlanta, my mother called me right after the show, and she was really upset and said, what were you wearing? What in the world's wrong with you? And anyway, so that's what happened on that. And that was the end of that. That never happened on any other show or anything else we ever did. But
so I think it was the same day you went to American Bandstand. Which one was first?
This was first. Bandstand was on a different day.
It was on a different day. Okay.
California. We were in California, and they take you out there, and they, the label takes you out there, and they just run you all over doing shows and stuff, and just the whole 9 yards. We were out there for like a week, and so you're just doing everything. You're doing radio shows, you're doing television, everything. But that was the first television thing we did was there.
Mm-hmm. And so after you had to just jump up on stage. And you realize you're dressed like that. Did the nerves get to you at all? Like, what came over you when the music started? Like, did you just forget about it and let go?
I just wanted it to be over as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought it looked like a great performance.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Well, by today's standards, I suppose it's it's not even not even remarkable in the least. I tell you a funny thing about that video. If you watch the whole video, they edited out I think the second chorus, because what happens is Gary has his hat on, and then after the guitar solo, you'll see he doesn't have a hat on anymore, and so when they cut the thing short, it fell off during the middle of the second verse.
Now, those dancers, were those I wasn't around for Sago. I was like a baby. So I see the show and I just see the lights and the way it looks, and it doesn't really look video game centric in the least. And it's kind of funny because you're going out there playing Pacman Fever and there's all these dancing girls. And were those the Solid Gold dancing girls? Did they come with the show? Did they dance for everyone else that was on the show?
Yeah. They were part of the show. Every week they had a girl that was the leader, but they would put together dances for some of the songs, and they did a dance to our song.
Well, we got Pac-Man for Atari. Awesome. So the other, let's see. So going Berserk, which was the whole reason I started this show today, was to celebrate Berserk. And when I first heard of Berserk, it was through the Pacman Fever album, because I heard the Pacman Fever song and I wanted to listen to the whole album because I was so excited. I went to iTunes and I typed in Pacman Fever. I'm like, oh, there's a whole album.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I listened to Going Berserk, and I think that might be my favorite song on the album. And it starts out with some keyboards where I thought, oh, this is a love song. And then all of a sudden you start hearing intruder alert, intruder alert.
I know.
The song takes like a totally different direction. And it really entertained my ADD. And I just really loved the song. Was that song something else originally, or was it always just designed that way?
It exactly was. You're very perceptive, very perceptive. Yes. What happened is Pacman Fever was cut in the fall of '81, and that's the only song we cut. And CBS bought it, came out, and everything. So when the song hit, which really it hit in the spring, started hitting in January, February of '82. So they wanted an album. So we began work on an album, and Gary and I were pop songwriters. So we started recording a couple of the tracks. Well, CBS, one of the vice presidents comes down to Atlanta to check on things, and we play him the songs. He goes, no, we want songs about every game. And we said, oh, well, we thought we didn't know that. Well, we'd already done 2 tracks and spent a lot of time on them, both of them. And Berserk was a different song. Yes, you're correct. And so we thought we can't waste the money. And CBS said, well, can't you change the lyrics? So we did. And that's why you're exactly right. It was a different song, but people love that song, even though it's, a game song thing. They still like, because it had a nice melody, and a lot of people thought it should have been a single, but they didn't do that. But that's the story, and you figured it out.
Did you ever release the original version?
No, but I have them. I think we were going to put them up somewhere. And it didn't do it, but I have the original versions, and I think people would find it interesting to hear them because it's the same music, but it's a different song, different lyrics and song, and putting the sound effects in there.
Which one do you prefer?
Oh, I like the original.
I figured you were going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like the original song. Sure.
So Froggy's Lament, I wanted to ask you about that, but I have a little clip of some inspiration from that song. Let me pull it up real quick. It's only a few seconds. It's not long.
And now, Froggy, you'd better use that magic twanger and become visible. Plunk your magic twanger, Froggy.
Hiya, kids, hiya.
Froggy, you be good now.
So that was Andy's Gang, I believe. It was a show in the 50s, and I had never heard of it, but I wanted to look it up when I heard that song was about that show. And I was wondering, did you watch that show growing up, or did Gary?
The song wasn't about the show, but because, as kids, Gary and I watched that show. We were, very young, but we watched that show, and we, that was always kind of a joke, that Froggy character. He was, for the time, we thought it was pretty cool. It was so stupid. But doing the song was about the game Frogger. But then we thought,
Frogger.
It might be kind of funny to put that in there, because people that had seen that show would get it. The people that hadn't seen the show, they really wouldn't get it, but who cares, they might figure it out. But that's why we put it in there, because we just thought it was funny.
One of the cool things about listening to this record is that you have all the samples and sounds of the real classic arcade games in the music. How hard was it to capture like all these games? Like that you have the games throughout the songs interwoven in them. You'll hear like the real arcade games. How was that accomplished?
Well, back then there was no direct. You didn't have any of the kind of electronics and stuff that we have now, that we can download stuff. You had nothing, so we had to go. The engineer for the studio had to literally go in person with a remote unit and record the sound effects off of the machines. There was no direct lines out of the machines or anything. So
just with a microphone?
Just with a microphone, yeah.
Analog.
He would go and he would record all the sound effects, And there used to be a rumor going around. I don't know if it's true, but they claim that Pacman Fever, they went to a delicatessen to record. We weren't there. We didn't go with them, but they went and recorded at a delicatessen, and somebody claimed they could hear somebody in the background ordering a sandwich or something, which I never, I don't know if that's true, but that would have made it even funnier. But yeah, they had to go and record. Those sounds are off. I mean, they were off the real machines.
Yeah. It is. You can tell when you listen.
Did you have to get permission to use those songs, or did the video game companies, were they ecstatic about your songs? Did they get involved with them or anything like that?
Well, I mean, yeah, eventually we had to get permission to be, legally to be careful. It took 24 contracts for all the different songs on there for different things. But no, most people, they were happy. It was Pacman Fever was a 4-minute commercial for the game. I mean, who wouldn't want that?
Yeah.
But
it was a different time too. I mean, you have what, Nintendo with the Donkey Kong, and you have Namco with the Pac-Man. I mean, you have all these companies agreeing to be on this record, and you think about the licensing that would be involved today.
Yeah, it was actually a nightmare then. Would be even worse now. But some of the companies didn't even want any money. They just said, we're grateful you're doing a song about the game. So it worked out okay. Pac-Man, they did, that company won a little bit, but they were so happy with the advertisement that they didn't really argue with us.
So I got to ask you, what is your favorite arcade game to play?
Well, to be honest with you, I always liked pinball. I was kind of into pinball. I had a machine, a pinball machine at home for a while. If I had to play a game, if you're asking me if I was going to play an 80s game, I loved Asteroid. I love Pac-Man. I wasn't great at it. Gary was pretty good at it. I wasn't that great, but he was pretty good at it. I always liked Asteroids. I always had a lot of fun with that game.
I had Carl O in the chat. He's mentioning that WKRP and Cincinnati theme is my favorite one, Jerry. I grew up there, and when I was in the military away from home, I really loved to see and hear it.
Yeah, we did that. That's us. Yeah, we Steve Carlisle was a singer here in Atlanta. He sang a lot of demos, and the guy that produced the TV show WKRP, he had been an advertising guy here, and he moved to California, and he hooked up with Mary Tyler Moore Productions. They came up with that show, which was based on a radio station here in Atlanta. And Steve Carlisle worked for them doing commercials at their advertising agency. So they asked him to sing this theme. Well, back then when they did themes, they were only like 30 seconds long. They didn't do a whole song. So we signed Steve to a contract with MCA and had some other single releases. And then they said, when they found out that he sang that song on the TV show, they said, well, we want to put that out. So we went back in, extended the song, new lyrics, re-recorded it, and it came out. And that's how that happened.
That's very cool, yeah.
You did some recording for some other artists. When I was a kid, I was looking through my grandmother's CDs, and she had all these Bobby Vinton CDs. She's 100% Polish, and I think I read that you wrote a song that he recorded.
Well, I wrote a song that he did record. Yeah, it was never released, but
okay.
A different guy but Bertie Higgins ended up doing the song, but Bobby Vinton originally recorded called "The Wall," but it never came out. His version didn't come out.
Okay, but I could hear it if I looked up. You said Bernie?
Well, you could hear Bertie's version. You can't hear
Bertie's.
Bobby Fenton's version, but because it's not out there. But yeah, you could definitely hear it if you go on YouTube and just put in "The Wall," Bertie Higgins, and it's in there.
Okay. Now, I think the version of Pacman Fever that I originally listened to might have been the re-recording, which is from 1999, I believe, from what I've been looking at, because they wouldn't let you release it on CD, the CBS record company, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, they didn't want to put it out. I guess they didn't want to fool with doing contracts again or whatever, but they wouldn't put it out. So we re-recorded it, and I think we did a pretty good job with it. It's not perfect, but Pacman Fever, I think, is very, very close. You have to listen. I have to listen close to figure out which one is which. The guitar solo is the key to it. It's not exactly the same. But yeah, we went in and redid it with every, the original people. So it was pretty close.
Yeah. So what do you think the best way to listen to the album is? Would it be, the original vinyl, a CD, an 8-track, a cassette tape?
Well, I think by listening to the one that you can purchase online. I'm kidding. No, I mean, most people, I suppose, prefer listening to the vinyl version, and that's fine. I understand that. I mean, that's the one we did originally, and I can't argue that point.
I did get a digital version, I believe, when I bought your book. I got of the album, I believe. So I think it's included with the book. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And there's a link in the description for the book and the album as well. So if you want to check those out.
Not only do you get all these awesome video game songs, you get E.T. I Love You.
What?
Oh, I wanted to ask about that.
E.T. I Love You is on this.
Well, E.T., the movie, that movie came out in the summer of '82, and of course it was a huge smash. And I happened to go see it with my family. We went to see it at the theater, and it was just, it was a great movie and very, very emotional and all that. And so I came back and told my partner, Gary Garcia, and I told our management people, I said, you got to see this movie. And so we all went and we saw it again the next night, and they all agreed. They said, we got to do a song on this. Well, at the time I had a dog. It was a family pet, and she had just passed away a few months before. And I had been, it was really tough in the family because we loved the dog so much. And I kind of put together a little song. Just, it was my way of trying to deal with her death, And so I told them, I said, well, I've got a song, kind of a melody that I was doing, about my dog. And so I played it for them, and they go, that's beautiful. Why don't we make, so we extended it, made it a song, stayed up all night, recorded it. Our manager flew to New York, and the record company flipped over it and everything. So then our manager flew to LA to talk to Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg, the story we were told, that he played the record over and over and over again in his office before he even had our manager come in, and had it turned up like really loud and played it over and over. And he said that Steven Spielberg, upon hearing it, said, I wish John Williams did the soundtrack for the movie. And he said, I wish John Williams had done this song. So we thought, our manager called and said, I think they're going to recall the movie and put your song in it. And we couldn't believe that, because that's something that would be virtually, they would never do. Well, then within a few days, Neil Diamond came out with the Heartlight song. And of course, Neil was a big established artist at CBS. And so they pulled our song and held it up and put his out. And then they released ours like in the fall when everything was, over with. But when they finally released it, wherever it was played, it shot right to #1. And I know this for a fact because I met a DJ years later who was in California, and he said, we played your song when it came out, and it was a #1 song listed every night. And I couldn't understand. I would talk to the promotion guy at CBS, and the guy finally got tired of telling me stuff, and he said, look, that record is just, they're killing it, so forget about it. Forget about it. They're killing it. So that's what happened. But it was pretty good record, I think. And somebody recorded it. Some group recorded it too. Starlight, somebody, vocal band or something recorded it. But it was a shame because we really thought that could have been bigger than Pacman even.
If anybody in the chat has any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat, and I'll bring them up. And
so I have one for you, Jerry. Now, when you guys redid the Pacman Fever album, you re-recorded every song on there, or most of them. Was that fun going back and taking a look at it, something you did all those years earlier again, or was it kind of a pain in the butt? Or
yeah, somewhere in between. I sure wouldn't call it fun. No, it was. In fact, Gary was actually. he was on the fence about even doing it. But I'm glad we did, and so was he eventually, because it was something the fans wanted, and it's you know, it still sells today and so forth. But no, I wouldn't call it fun, because we were kind of upset that CBS wouldn't put out the original. But you know, but we were happy to do it, you know. But it was tough, you know, to do again. A lot of work.
Yeah. I mean, because I mean, I can't imagine, going back and, basically trying to do a cover version of your own song. That's not something you typically
Yeah.
have to do.
Yeah, I like to, you want to move on and do new material and stuff, But yeah, it was. That's the only thing we could do to answer. Fans, everybody wanted it at that time when everything was transferring to CD. Now, people are buying vinyl again. It's really amazing. They're moving away from CD. There's something about vinyl and having an album cover and all that. People seem to like that better. So
I think there'll be a vinyl re-release of the Pacman Fever.
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's how I had it. I had the record. And then I actually saw you talk at, I think it was the Houston Arcade Expo, and that's where I got the CD.
Okay.
And you really, I mean, this album though, really, I mean, if I think about the 80s arcade games I love, I mean, they're all here on this album put to music. You've got Pac-Man, Centipede, Berserk, Donkey Kong, Asteroids.
There's only one game we missed. There's one game, see if you can think of it, that would be in that same category.
It's your favorite game, Brad.
What's that?
The one you played at Kmart when you were a kid.
Oh, Space Invaders. Space Invaders?
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know why we didn't do that. I really don't. People have asked us, why didn't you do that? And I just don't know. I think maybe the title it was like it didn't lend itself to anything, but somehow that got biased. I don't know.
Of course, Defender, Mousetrap. Now, Mousetrap's a bit of a deeper cut. People don't probably Mousetrap might not have the legs that some of these other games have. Like, everyone's heard of these other games, but
the song is great. The song makes it great.
Is great. I love this. I just get in the mood when I put this on.
Was another song also. That was the other song. The two. It was a different song also, but. That was always my least favorite song, but a lot of people love Mousetrap. A lot of people did. It was my least.
Going Berserk. And tell us about the Hostage song, the final track.
Well, that was something we did. It was a recording we did at the time. It kind of suited what was going on at the time, and it was just kind of it was one of our, we did a lot of material, a lot of songs, regular. Pop songs, commercial songs, blues. We did a lot of different things, and it's something we wanted to do. It was kind of our political statement, I guess.
Jason had a comment in the chat. He said there was a legal issue with the Heartlight song, I recall. I'm not sure.
Well, that was when I mentioned earlier, when I said that, Heartlight, they were, Spielberg sued Neil Diamond, and they settled out of court for $25,000, which we would have paid him up front. We would have paid him $50,000 up front to give us permission. But yeah, they really got taken on that.
Wreck-It Ralph, I think you did the song, your band did Wreck-It Ralph, right? It's Wreck-It Ralph,
yeah,
2 Wreck-Its.
Yes, we did that.
Yeah, and it's a how's it different recording for like a Disney movie versus like a studio album?
Well, first of all, it was pretty exciting. We got the call from Disney, and they asked if we would do this song. And we said, yeah, absolutely. But at the time, Gary had just passed away. And I explained to them that, what had happened. Well, they said, is there anybody else that could sing it? And I said, well, we can try. So Danny Jones, who's a dear friend who's been around forever and worked with us and played in the band and stuff, and was a singer. And so he took a crack at it, and it came out pretty good. They sent a producer come out from LA to work with me on it. And it worked out real good. He's a really nice guy, great guy. He did a lot of work with some of the America's, what was the show? One of those music shows.
America's Got Talent?
No, not America's Got Talent. It was the one, Simon Cowell. Which show was that?
American Idol?
American
no,
Idol.
American Idol. Yeah, he worked with some of the singers on there, and he did a lot of big acts. But he was a good guy, so he came out and helped. But the difference was, yeah, doing a song for a Disney movie was pretty exciting, and we did it, and it was really neat to go into a theater, and actually see that and see your name up in there in the credits and stuff. So that was really neat thing to do, and we were hoping to be in the second Wreck-It Ralph, but it was such a different direction and content that that it didn't work out. But we hope to do some stuff with them in the future, maybe again.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph. I think the original Wreck-It Ralph is just quite a bit better than the second one, honestly.
I
But
thought it was. I thought it was pretty. I thought it was a pretty good movie. The guy that in that movie there was a lawsuit. Well, not a lawsuit, excuse me, but there's a guy, and I can't think of his name at the moment, but there's an actual person who wore the striped shirt and the whole thing that the guy wore in Wreck-It Ralph, the guy that owned the video store, the video game store, and they just stole that whole thing, changed the name, and I think he tried to sue or whatever, but it was a shame because they just stole that off a real person.
Excuse me.
bless you.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
Yeah.
Was it Walter Day?
Yes, Walter.
Walter
Walter's
Day,
a good
yeah.
friend. I can't believe
Walter
I can't-
Day?
Yeah. Walter Day, yeah.
Yeah. He wears the referees thing.
Right. Yeah, he was responsible for starting the whole scoring thing.
Twin Galaxies. Mm-hmm.
He started Twin Galaxies, yeah.
Billy Mitchell.
Billy's a great friend. Yeah, we've done a lot of shows together, Billy and I, and he's a good guy. I like Billy. Good. He never hesitates to talk to anyone, any fan, anybody. We were at dinner one night together, and a kid was in there with his family and recognized him, and he got up from dinner and went over and talked, and food got cold, but that's the kind of guy he was or is. I like him a lot. He's a good guy and a great player. I mean, this guy, talk about Donkey Kong and Pacman Fever. Forget it. He's the king.
And play a perfect Pac-Man.
Yeah, he's first to do it.
Perfect. Yep.
So when you met Dick Clark on American Bandstand, is he exactly like you would have perceived him on TV? He just seems like such a iconic standout guy.
Well, yeah, Dick Clark was very good to us, and the story's kind of funny because we grew up watching that show, and so when we got out when they had us do the show, we got over to ABC, and we're in a dressing room, and they did at that time. He told us they did 6 shows on a week. They did 3 shows on a Saturday and 3 on a Sunday. That's how they would do them, and so tape them. So we're in our dressing room, and I'm trying to think who was there. Was 3 or 4 other. Well, Birdie was actually there too, which was interesting to do his show, and Huey Lewis and the News was there.
Ooh,
And 2 other acts. Anyway, so we're in the room. Well, people started coming in and getting autographs and stuff, and the producer of the show came in and with his kids and said they want autographs and all that, which we were happy to do. Well, then we heard in the hallway, we heard that famous voice, that you hear, Dick Clark's voice. So when he came in the room, and we said hello. Well, we were like just starstruck. I mean, to be sitting in the same room with Dick Clark. I mean, it was just from growing up watching that show. I mean, it was just too much. So he's sitting there, and we're talking, and he's telling us he was in a sweatshirt and jeans, which was weird to see because you always saw him in a suit, And we're talking and everything, and he says, "So what we'll do, we'll do this and do your song, and then we'll do some questions." And he said, "I'll ask you some stuff." And he gave us a quick little question, just like a little test thing. And we just sat there and looked at him. I mean, we couldn't even talk, And so he said, "Guys, it's TV. you got to talk. You got to talk and everything." So it was terrifying, honestly, to do the show. I mean, I remember sitting there thinking, I don't want to do this. I mean, this is just too much, too frightening. And it was just so surreal, But that show, they knew exactly how to deal with, acts like that, us coming in there, that were in awe of Dick Clark and everything. And they had everything laid out. It was mistake proof. And, we got down there and they set up and everything. And so at the end of it, he walks up. He did the interview, and he made sure that, he made sure we didn't die out there. A real pro will do that. Like Johnny Carson, all those guys, they know how to keep something going, even if you're not doing too well. So he walks up and he tells us with his back to the camera, take a bow and all that. And he was so nice. He played our songs on his national radio show. He promoted our album through Kmart, and he was just a really nice guy to answer a long-winded answer, but he was very nice to us.
It's interesting you say, he was a real pro and everything. I've watched enough American Bandstand to kind of get that idea that, like, if say it's like the drummer or something in the band, they don't get interviewed a whole lot. Like, he did seem like he went out of his way to make them feel, just as important as like the singer or something.
Yeah, I tell you one interesting thing though about him that freaked me out. When we're standing out there doing the interview, and this was when we're on doing the show and the show's going, and when he's holding the microphone talking to, how he does with each person, his hands were shaking. You can't see it on camera, but you could see it up close like we were. They were shaking. And I'm thinking in my mind, wait a minute, this guy certainly can't be nervous. I mean, he's done TV, he's a huge star all his life, and it made me feel funny. I thought, this is weird, but I imagine it just might have been some sort of who knows, maybe that's how he got his energy going or something. I don't know, but I remember that it seemed so strange. Might have had some sort of a, twitch or something. I don't know. Who knows?
So looking back now, would you say that was the highlight of your career? Or if not, what was?
That yeah, I would say that would be the highlight of the career. I would have to say another highlight though would have been when I was invited to go to Chicago for the 40th anniversary birthday celebration at Nintendo, or Namco, I guess, or Nintendo, whoever had it. And they had people, Pixels was out at the time, the movie, and they were all there promoting the movie. And they brought in Turo Iwatani, who invented the game Pacman. And I got to meet him, and he was very nice. He spoke hardly any English, so he had an interpreter, and they had a film crew with him.
Wow.
But it was really neat because we're standing there, we had met and everything, and we were going to go out and do a joint kind of a press thing there. And so we were waiting backstage, and he leans over and starts singing in my ear, Pacman Fever, I got Pacman. And I thought that was just the coolest thing. So I had him sign a poster I have in my office, and he wrote
cool.
something in Japanese. I really don't know what it says, but he wrote it and autographed it and everything. And that's I think one of the coolest things that I ever got to do with that record. But Dick Clark would have been the pinnacle of performing and entertaining. I mean, for us.
Yeah.
I think I was reading that, or no, maybe I was listening to the enhanced version of the album where you made commentary that Ode to Centipede is your favorite song on the album.
I like that a lot. And I love the guitar solo. Chris Bowman played that. And I just like the chord structure. And, if I had to pick one song to listen to, I would pick out that one. I liked Ode. I mean, I love the album. I mean, I really do. I think we did a really good job. But that song I like those kinds of melodies. I like the chord structure. And I thought the guitar solo was just really, really good. So, that would be my overall favorite.
I love the way that, I guess it's the sound of those like mushrooms all coming in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like we captured that sound effect, and the way it just added to the song. I really enjoyed it. So when those songs were written, are you writing a lot of the lyrics, or are you just writing the music? Or was Gary writing the lyrics, or was it like a combination?
Yeah, it was a combination. We had a great. It was a great partnership for songs because we each brought something to the songs that the other didn't necessarily have. I generally I would generally come up with what they call the hook, and a little bit of, I would come up with a melody and music. I would do more of the music, and then Gary would do more of the lyrics to answer the question. And he was a great lyricist and did a great job on that. And I mean, especially Pacman Fever, that summed up that entire. That song tells what happened, you know, in '82. I mean, that, you know, I got a pocket full of quarters, headed to the arcade. I mean, that's a classic line. They use it. Everybody uses it talking about the '80s.
And
And
it's
Yeah, it was basically I did music and Gary did I mean, I did some lyrics sometimes, but primarily he did them, and I did the music.
it was such a strong intro. He was so, it was almost, it was very strong the way he just said it. A pocket. It was just so, and it just gets you sucked right into the rest of the song.
There's that little part where it's just the drums and the sound of Pac-Man, and it just brings you right in front of that arcade, and you're like, "That's Pac-Man." You know, that is the Pac-Man experience put to music.
Yeah,
you know?
I think so. I think we captured that feeling.
You captured
I really
it.
do. And
You nailed it.
Gary was a really great singer and learned how to sing in the studio. And you know, we had bands together back in Akron, Ohio when we were younger, and we played together. And we actually played together as a duo for some time. You know, playing around. And so we went to high school together, and you know, we were just like brothers. And I miss him every day. But yeah, it was a great partnership, and you know,
it was so great too. Like, I was a kid when that came out, and just when that came on, it was like that music spoke to me, because like I loved arcade games, and it was such a beautiful tribute. You know, like you're like, oh, that's a song. That song spoke to me. You know, and it meant a lot. And so I just want to say thank you.
When you mentioned Wreck-It Ralph, if you'll listen to the guitar solo, what I wanted Gary to be a part of that song. So we went back in and pulled out just the vocal track of the album that we did. And there's, in the original Pac-Man, Gary does, in the middle of the solo, you'll hear him go, it makes it like a hook thing. And we took that one little thing and stuck it in the Wreck-It Ralph solo in the middle, so that he would be a part of that project. So if you ever listen,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
if you hear that, that's Gary. Yeah.
Awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? I don't want to take too much of his time. We've been pretty thorough.
I know. And you know, Pac-Man, he took a slice out of pizza, and that's how he came up with the idea for that design for Pac-Man.
Yeah, they were trying to originally, the video games were aimed at guys, and so they wanted to come up with
crossover.
A crossover that would get the females. And of course, what it did, it got everybody. I mean, at that time, you go in, like I said, you go in a club, and it would be adults and kids, you name it, you know, all ages, all people, you know, girls, guys, you name it. Everybody was doing it. And that's what was so amazing about the game. It was so addictive. You know, we did a show at the Ed Sullivan Theater in New York. We did a show on Nickelodeon. And that particular show was devoted to the whole video game craze. And of course, they wanted us on there to do the song at the time, which, you know, was a hit. And so we were in the green room with a bunch of all the people that were going to be on this show. And there was a group that had formed of some, I guess, mothers or women or whatever that were against video games, because they said they were bad for the kids and all that. You know, they got a little bit of press, and so they went crazy, you know. So they're there to be on the show. And then they had some representatives from Nintendo, I think, and you know, maybe a couple others, and a couple of people from some TV shows, and just a variety of people, you know, to be on this show. Was like a Phil Donahue kind of a show for kids, you know, for teenagers. So anyway, we're in the room in there, sitting there waiting to go on, and they're talking. Well, there was one or maybe two or three of those women with this organization. I don't know what they call themselves, but they get into an argument with with the guy, one of the guys from the video game company from Nintendo, and they just, you know, they're like, you know, getting angry and stuff, and it's kind of ugly. Then it kind of stops for a minute. Well, one of the women was sitting next to me, and all of a sudden she turns and looks at me and Gary, and she goes, "Are you the guys that do that Pacman Fever record?" And I was,
Uh-oh.
literally afraid to say yes. And I said,
Oh,
well, yeah, that's us. And she leans over. She goes, oh, I've got a copy of the record with me. I knew you were going to be in the show. Would you sign this, daughter? And then,
there
so
you
we
go.
signed, and then she promptly walks out on live television, and puts the games down and everything. I mean, that shows you how people are.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
I wanted to go back because I forgot to ask something here on Froggy's Lament. The vocals are so different than the rest of the album, and I'm assuming that was still Gary. Does he have that kind of range?
Yeah, he did. He did he was lead vocal on every track. Yeah, he did. He would apply what he thought it should sound like, And
it reminded me of that frog that we showed earlier. He did a good job.
That is cool.
that they were debating between that song and Donkey Kong for a second single, and our management people wanted the Frogger song. They thought it would have a better chance, but they said no and put out Donkey Kong. And I would have thought Donkey Kong would have done a little better, but it was just, that song was so huge, the Pac-Man song. It was just kind of hard to follow that up, But but Frogger was a cool song. I like that song. We tried to write each song as a song first. We didn't just throw out sound effects. We tried to write the song to be a good pop song on its own had it been a regular song with regular lyrics. So I think that's what helped keep it. Pac-Man was on the charts for quite a while, and I think that's why the album did so well, because it was, the songs were pretty good. I think all of them were pretty good, and people, liked them, and that's how we approached doing it.
Awesome. Did either of you have any more questions?
I think I've hit everything I was curious about.
Awesome.
All right.
So,
Okay.
Jerry, what do you have
Well,
going on? Are you going to any more conventions or anything? Because I think I saw
Well,
you at the Houston Arcade Expo is where I got to see you speak.
Well, I get, of course, the COVID thing shut down a lot of that, but I get requests to do things, and I don't know. We may do something here in a couple of months, I think, up in Ohio. But what I'm really excited about is they're doing, in the process of filming a movie about Pac-Man, and it's the same people that do the Mario movies, which have been very successful, really cool movies.
Oh,
So I'm looking forward to this. This should really revitalize everything a lot, but it should be kind of neat. I can't wait to see that movie when it comes out. Hopefully it'll be out in about a year and a half or so, I guess. They're going to be filming it this year. So we'll see if we're a part of it. Hopefully we are. Hopefully
yeah.
in there.
Okay,
Awesome.
get your song in there, and
Yeah.
I tell you,
Sure.
like some of the guys in the chat were saying, do a re-release on vinyl.
Yeah, you should do a release on vinyl. It's Pacman Fever. Where can you get this at? I mean, I have the CD, but where can you get it? Like, is it on iTunes or?
Yeah, you can get it on iTunes,
Okay.
Spotify. I mean, it's all over the place,
Wherever you buy music.
Yeah, exactly where we buy. Yeah, it's all over the place. I don't know. I guess what comes to mind when we talk about redoing a vinyl. I mean, the album is out there. People can purchase, the original album. So I don't know. Maybe my thinking's wrong, but I mean, I don't know. You think people would want to buy a re-release of the same album if it was a new release, but it was the same album? I don't know.
I'd buy a vinyl for sure.
Yeah.
I
had the vinyl. I had the vinyl. When I became a poor college student, I sold all my vinyl, but I had the Pacman Fever, the vinyl, and I regret it. So I would buy one.
180 gram vinyl.
I'm going to think about that. I'm going to talk to our management people, and maybe that's something, we could do, and maybe do something a little bit different with it. Maybe color it yellow or something. I don't know, but maybe we could do something different.
Even if it's just a limited release on your on a website or something, I'm sure it would sell.
What do you think? What would you pay for an album like that?
$20-25 bucks.
I'd say that.
So that's the going rate, I suppose, for vinyl now, I guess.
I was buying a bunch of vinyl a couple of years ago. It just depends. If you put a special color, something like that, you might be able to, $30.
Yeah. I mean,
All
I
right,
have
well,
one
we'll-
right here unopened.
We'll
Yeah.
kick that idea. We'll kick that idea around because we thought about it. But I'm glad to get your feedback on that. We'll talk about that.
Because I mean, I'm a huge music fan and everything. And if I'm gonna buy music in 2023, if I want
retro.
a physical copy, it's vinyl, and
Analog.
if it's just digital MP3, those are the two formats that I purchase.
Okay. All right. Yeah, people for some reason aren't big on the CDs anymore. So,
Yeah.
well, guys,
Yeah.
this has been great talking to you. I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you having me on the show.
I appreciate you coming. It was an honor and a privilege, and I
Absolutely.
look forward to seeing what's next, Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
It was a pleasure to
Okay.
meet you, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Nice meeting you too.
Take care.
Take care.
All right.
All right.
Wow, that was great. I was just so focused on the interview. I left that Atari
I know,
joystick.
I know.
You could have just said something, man. It would have been
I gotta
cool.
tell him. I gotta tell him. Keep the fever.
Yeah, it
Keep
doesn't
the
matter.
fever.
It doesn't matter though, because I had a really great time, and it was just so really cool for me to do. So
All the patterns for Pac-Man.
Well, like I
How
was
you
saying,
do Pac-Man right there. You learn these.
like you guys know, I'm a music fan. I got a Marshall Stack sitting next to me, right here, and so I'm like a student of that stuff. So when he's telling stories about the music industry in the late 70s and 80s, I could put myself there mentally, and I'm just like, I just soak that stuff up. That's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, next time just tell me if I missed your private chat. Just say, hey, take down the Atari stick real quick. No big deal. I don't care. I was just focused on the interview because I had a list of questions. I'm listening to you guys at the same time, and
That was great.
Yeah.
Good job, Steps.
Thanks. Yeah, that's one I'll remember
We
for
should
a very long
we should
time.
charge Atari for having the Atari joystick up. We basically had an Atari ad for like
Commercial.
45 minutes, but hey, it is what it is. It was still good.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Atari, you need to throw us all one of those consoles. Come on now.
Yeah. There you go.
I felt bad because when I put that video up of the solid gold, he didn't like that. But I just when I saw that show, I go, "Wow, this is great!" Because
it's retro. I mean, like you can't get more retro than that, man. You can't get more retro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's funny to me was I was watching it. I didn't notice anything out of the ordinary with his clothes or anything. I was just enjoying the whole video. Like, this is cool, So
Yeah.
I would never even have thought that,
Yeah, I was just trying to gauge what kind of guy Gary was because I didn't know. There's very little information, and I was like, did Gary rib you or did Gary not rib you? It was just a curiosity.
You always hear about how like the Arcade 1-Up community hates Pac-Man because they keep releasing Pac-Man over and over again. But you can see behind me, even I got a Pac-Man sign behind me. But Pac-Man is a universal. When I have people that are not arcade gamers over to my house, the first game they go to play is my Arcade 1-Up Pac-Man almost every time.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know what it is about Pac-Man, but there's something universal. It's like a universal appeal for, even people that don't play video games. They'll play it.
Oh,
Miss Pac-Man especially, Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man. That whole trilogy, really, that three, the Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man, Galaga trilogy.
Yeah.
Those are great casual arcade games.
Every time I talk about the cabs that I have, I don't play Pac-Man a whole lot, if I'm honest. But every time we come down to it, the missus will be like, yeah, Pac-Man, that's probably my favorite one. I'd be like, really, Pac-Man? She'd go, yeah, I like Pac-Man. So it's it's that game for a lot of people.
Yeah,
but
and even going on arcade tours, it's crazy. There's always someone playing Pac-Man and Galaga. Always Miss Pac-Man, Pac-Man and Galaga. There will always be someone parked at those machines.
I'm just putting up the comments,
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So we got some Berserk and some Frenzy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're going to be playing now?
Yeah. Well, I just want to respond to Jason's comment there real quick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you could not be like respectful having, somebody like that, you're interviewing and being a part of the discussion anyways. I mean, he has a lot of like I say, he has a lot of insight into the music
Absolutely.
industry and, you know, movies. And I mean, like, he's had, you know, interactions with Steven Spielberg. I mean, like, come on,
and,
guys.
you know, even for me personally, like I said, when I was a kid, you know, I mean, video games weren't everywhere, you know, and when that Pacman Fever song came on the radio, I was like, that's the song that's there for me. I love this, you know, and it was really great. It was really great because it was completely different. There was no video game songs, really on the radio, nothing like that. It was just a unique thing.
Yeah, I don't know. No worries, had a good time. You know, to me, you know, that's an ideal guest for me because I love music was my first love. Really, I had a music channel. I still do. You know, and I kind of fell into this. This wasn't like what my plan was. My plan was to do concerts and vinyl channel, and you know, here I am.
There you are.
You know, that's interesting. I've always
This
wanted to do
Pac-Man's on your
something
iircade.
well.
You
That's
what?
why
I just noticed.
I had what on my arcade?
Your Miss Pac-Man's on your
It's Miss
iircade right
Pac-Man.
now. I mean,
Yeah, because I tried to learn
iircade has
Pac-Man.
all the bangers.
I tried to put Pac-Man on it, and then it didn't run, and I was like, I had no time. I was like, Miss Pac-Man, it is.
Yeah. You can actually play Pac-Man on the class of 1981. There's a code.
There's a code.
Yeah, you'll play every version of every Pac-Man. It plays fast and slow Pac-Man, fast and slow Miss Pac-Man, Galaga regular shoot, and Galaga fast shoot. I'll send you the codes. It's just like you enter these certain joystick codes when you start, and you can select whatever you want. But yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cool thing. I'll share it with you. I'll messenger it to you.
One thing I was working on, I didn't get it figured out yet, but I was trying to get the EJB codes up in Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. Get those characters unlocked and everything. But you gotta hit the block button on player 1 and player 2 at the right sequence.
There's the codes.
Blinky becomes Pinky.
Blinky becomes Pinky. That's how you know it worked. Yeah. It's left, right, up, fire. And that'll enable fast mode, speed chip mode on any of the Pac-Mans.
Yeah.
And then to play Pac-Man, you go up, down, left, left. And then Blinky becomes Pinky, and then they'll play Pac-Man. You can enter the speed code too, so you can play fast Pac-Man as well. If you enter this first code when you load up Galaga, your Galaga shoots twice as fast, and you get speed version of Galaga.
Oh.
Well, Brad, I'm
sorry. This is the real class of 1981, not the atrocity that was the arcade one-up. That's not even running the actual ROM that the arcade game had.
Yeah, well,
this is the real one.
You thought you were known for Atari, Brad. Now I'm going to be known for Atari.
Yeah, that's us. We're gonna be the Atari and Pac-Man.
It's all good, Steps.
No, dude, all you can do is laugh, man. I had a really good time, so I don't really care at this point. I just think it's funny. I'm like, dude, just tell me next time, man. It was, you know, we had a good interview. I mean, that's what matters.
Yeah, you can always edit it if you want.
Nah, it's live. It's live.
Yeah,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
I'm saying Atari send Steps Gaming one of them Atari consoles. It's the least you can do. Send her one of them Atari consoles. Come on, Atari. Don't be stingy.
I'm gonna replace all my Maiden stuff with Atari stuff. I'm gonna just come on wearing Atari gear. Steps is now the queen of Atari. Stands back. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. You're not worthy. Papa Brad is a walking Nintendo power.
Probably.
I don't know, man. He's just all about Atari.
I do love Atari.
And the iiRcade. But now his iiRcade is an Atari.
Yeah, now my iiRcade is everything. So the chains are off of it. It's just it's unchained.
Is Atari your favorite console manufacturer?
No. I don't know.
Did you have a Lynx?
No, I never had a Lynx. I mean, it was crazy. It comes down to my childhood. Like my parents never bought me an Atari, but all my friends had Ataris, so I would go over to their house and play them. You know, so I made up for it now. Now I've got like Atari everything, so I made up for it in tenfold. So it eventually I got as much Atari as I wanted. So
It's all good. Jerry got back at me for the solid gold thing with the Atari joystick.
Yeah, you had the Atari joystick up the whole time. I'm saying they got a great advertisement with this awesome guest.
We all prefer
you guys.
Atari.
I tell you guys though,
I'm gonna add this video. I'm gonna add this video to Atari so they can see that they got all this great coverage.
I wanted a Jaguar when it was new. I remember looking at the ads in the magazines and stuff and being like, wow, 64 bits. And that was in the age of the 16-bit. And, really thinking that was something. And then come to find out years later, it's not even full 64 bits. It's like, I forget what, something to do with the processors. It was like 232s or something, but it wasn't a net or real 64.
What really made me love Atari though was not really the console; it was the arcade games. I mean, if you go to the early '80s and look at the string of games they made, Centipede, Tempest, Star Wars. I mean, it was just like Asteroids Deluxe. It was like they knew how to make games that were easy to learn but difficult to master. And the original Atari was a very free thinking company. I mean, like a game like Tempest, like that's such an original game. That could have only came from Atari at that time.
Brad, we're gonna start a new show. It's gonna be the Atari podcast.
Battlezone.
The Atari podcast.
Yeah,
I
like classic
Atari all the time.
Crystal Castles. I mean, they were great. I mean, they made great arcade games, and I think they used the greatness of their arcade games to kind of, sell the 2600, which wasn't so great, really. They did the best they could with it. It wasn't. But I mean, compared to the arcade games, which we can now play at home, I mean, like I'm gonna play the classic arcades a lot because I love those.
Well, and that's why, I've talked with you before, Brad. I'm a pretty big Neo Geo fan, and a lot of that comes from the fact that the Neo Geo AES was the first home console that literally brought arcade perfect ports.
The real arcade.
Home. Yeah. And it was like that was if there was S tier back in 1990 or whatever, it was definitely a Neo Geo. And then same with like when the Sega Saturn came. I was a huge Sega Saturn fan, and it was because that was really doing arcade ports, almost perfect, back in 1995 or whatever as well.
Yeah, just going back to the Neo Geo, I mean, the first time I played Metal Slug, I was like, now this is amazing and it's different, Yeah. Then they made like 5 of them or whatever, 6 of them. I don't know how many Metal Slugs there are. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
But what I'm saying, it was such a good concept.
Yeah.
It was so well executed. The Neo Geo was definitely great.
So it's just that nostalgia factor for me that like it was I remember a time in this world when, if you talked about home consoles, because, arcades, yeah, everybody loved the arcades. That was like a whole different environment. But, once you ran out of quarters, you went home, and what were you playing at home? And, and everybody I knew was playing NES, and then I'd be watching something on TV and they'd advertise the Neo Geo AES arcade perfect games at home. And you're like, what? This is insane. And then when it came to the price, it was even more insane.
Aren't those like cartridges like hundreds of dollars for like one single cartridge for those?
Yeah.
I know
that's
now they're really expensive.
That's
they're
like
really valuable.
Like you're talking about Atari collecting and how like that's relatively dirt cheap. A Neo Geo is the exact opposite of that. I think that might be
it's at the other end of the scale, all the way to the other end. Would be collecting Neo Geo original cartridges. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure they have like a multi-cart where you can play them all. Which is the way I would probably go.
There. I made a post just now with the joystick. I said, I'm now the self-proclaimed queen of Atari. Thank you.
That's right. That's right. We worship our idol. The 2600 joystick.
Dude, I just got to make fun of myself because it'll make it better. Anyway.
Are we playing Berserk or what?
Yeah, we can let's play some
games.
Who's going first?
Mikey J, why don't you go since you asked?
All right.
Are we supposed to play Call Berserk? going berserk, berserk, berserk.
Do you want me to
Do you
turn
have a
my
clip for going berserk?
Do you want me to
What?
turn my sound on or
No, because there was no video. I was just looking for videos and stuff.
You know, I didn't want to say anything when he was on here, but I don't even have a way to play CDs anymore. The last way I had to play CDs was my car had a CD player.
I have a boombox.
Now
next to
everything's
my bed.
digital anymore. It's a shame, you know.
That's
Yeah,
why I was telling him about the vinyl. Like when he was unsure, I'm like, no. You know, if you're gonna do a physical release of something, it should be vinyl in 2023. Do you want me to turn my video game sound on, Steps?
Yeah.
Now, if you notice, the bullet went right through his head. You can do that. If you get a perfect shot, the bullet can travel through the neck area of your player.
I'm trying to see.
It happens very rarely, but it is an interesting quirk in this game.
Okay, so I could do solo layout, but I can't make us next on the side his screen big. Is that not a possibility in StreamYard?
You could just kick us out, like remove me, and then he'll be bigger, and you'll be a small square.
But if I put you back, then it will be this way again. Okay, got it. So I have no control over that. All right, it is what it is.
There should be a way to have us like make him big.
I can make him big, but then we're gone, right?
No, we'll be in little boxes in the corner.
It says solo layout, and then he comes up.
Maybe I have a more deluxe version of.
I'm not paying.
I pay for it.
I'm not paying.
I have the deluxe. Sorry,
I'm not paying $50.
I have the paid version.
I have a paid version too, but
Yeah.
I don't have the $50 version.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Well, we know we can just.
Yeah.
That's a humanoid.
One of the things that makes this game so great is the robot sounds. And that was a relatively late add to this game. I did a video about the history of Berserk, and I played some Berserk on my channel. And the robot voice was added close to the end.
Yeah, it's very old school. You could tell it's like it has that rough edge to it. It was like $10,000 a clip or something.
Yeah, it was like
a word.
It was something that was developed for people that were handicapped.
Yeah.
And they applied it to this video game. They used the technology.
Intruder alert, intruder alert. Chicken fight like a robot.
Now, this is an example of a game. If this robot sound is off, it would ruin this game for a lot of people. Like for me, it would ruin the game. Even if the gameplay was right, if the robot sounded weird, I could not get into playing it. Is that crazy, Steps?
Yeah, the robot's
a little bit.
not. If the robot's
Yeah,
not
because
what?
like on AntStream, some of the games, the robot sounds are way off.
Are they?
It just
I
ruins it
don't
for me.
I don't play AntStream, so I wouldn't know. I heard that I didn't hear positive things.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe
Well, some games it's fun. I mean, it's fun, but I mean, it's just the emulation on some of the games. It's like, and they don't allow you to map your controls. It's like
it can't be that good for $1.99 a year or whatever they charge.
Why can't you map your controls? It's ridiculous.
Because it's $1.99 a year. Well, how much is it?
I think I paid $12 for the whole year.
For the whole year. That's
For the
crazy.
year.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. That they can't. How are they gonna make? That's like that's
When
less,
I bought it for the Xbox too, and it was expensive. It was like $30 for the Xbox.
Yeah, well, it's still.
I got
less,
it on sale for the PC.
That's less than a membership to Planet Fitness.
Humanoid.
I know.
Intruder.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I heard as well. It's like-
$1,000 per word. Wow. How many words you want?
Intruder alert, intruder alert.
Totally worth it. Totally worth it. Because the speech in this game made this game.
That's a humanoid. That's a intruder. That's a humanoid. That's a intruder.
Congratulations. So we just finished. Okay.
What was his final score? It'll show us. What was the score?
I don't know. It says 1200. I guess he's going again. He's going again.
Playing twice?
I guess it's a 2-quarter challenge.
Oh, it's a 2-quarter challenge.
No, I
Is
don't
it? I
know.
thought it was a
I
1-quarter challenge.
He's just going again, so I guess it's a 2-quarter
Okay.
challenge.
They use a vocoder on a keyboard.
Intruder alert.
Here comes Evil Auto. Put the fire button in.
That's a
Oh
humanoid.
man,
That's a
walking into the
intruder.
wall.
I thought it was hilarious because like I
You
didn't.
can't see his score.
I didn't understand what Evil Otto was until I did research on this game.
Humanoid.
And like he's this bouncy smiley face, and his name
Yeah.
is Evil Otto.
Do you know why? Do you know why he named him that? Because at the time there
hated
were
He
these
hated smiley
T-shirts.
faces.
Yeah, there were these T-shirts that said "Have a nice day," and they were a smiley face.
Yeah.
And he hated those T-shirts. So his idea of getting revenge was to make a happy face that was
Intruder alert. Intruder alert.
because everyone was buying those "Have a nice day" T-shirts.
Yeah.
Steps, can you take our names off? Is the score underneath his name?
Oh, is
I
it?
Humanoid.
don't know. I'm
Let's
trying to see the
Intruder.
score. Can you take the little name tags off?
Yeah, let me go to band. It's brand, isn't it?
Yeah. It should be at the very top.
There we go.
Humanoid.
Yeah, now we can see the score.
You gotta understand, majority of my streaming has always been an OBS.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But I have I kept
That's
this.
cool. Just so we
I-
could see the score, though. So what was the score?
I kept this, you know, because I
Play
wanted.
it again.
Is he playing again? I guess he is. Whatever. If he wants to play, let him play. Let him play.
All I'm gonna need is 1 quarter.
Yeah. So
I hope. I hope.
just remember to
Just
make
remember.
sure you buy the Atari.
Yes. The
That
CX40 joystick
That
is going to
Atari.
be available to
The
replace
Atari
your old
needs to
Atari
happen.
joystick.
Yeah. Make sure you pre-order it. It's coming out in November.
Atari, the least you could do is send Steps Gaming a complimentary Atari console
Humanoid.
for her great advertising of your amazing joystick that's coming out.
I did not get paid for that.
Humanoid. Intruder alert.
Hell,
Intruder alert.
they can just send me a joystick. That'll be fine too.
Oh, one thing we didn't talk about with the Atari, it does come with 10 games too. It's like not only do you get the console, but you're getting 10 games. And some of the games are pretty good that they're giving you.
Yeah, Yar's Revenge. And,
Yours is a classic. You got Combat. Combat's a must play.
all right, he's a
Combat
13.
carries over for everybody. Like my grandkids will play Combat once they learn how to. Once they learn about it, how to play it, they actually like it.
All right, so he's at 1360. He's walking down the hall. He shot the robot. He's going down. He's trying to get the other robot. Evil Otto is catching up with him. You cannot shoot Evil Otto. It
Yeah,
does no
shoot
good.
it. No, he's-
Go out the side door. And he does.
and it called him a chicken because if you don't kill all the robots before you leave the room, it will call you a chicken. To get the bonus, you got to kill all the robots.
Oh, shot him. He's dead. See,
So
it
is
doesn't.
that the score? Are we counting that one?
We could rewind it and see what the score is. We got it. We definitely got to. MJP. It was 1660. That's what he got. 1660. It's time for Brad to take a turn.
I'll
Right?
take a turn. I'm not shy. Let me pull it up. Hold on.
He's still going again. Like he's just gonna
Yeah.
keep playing indefinitely, I
Yeah.
guess. Blood Tide. 1660. Welcome, Blood Tide. I know that you're in the fighting game community, but today we're like old school retro.
All right, I'm back.
Wait, what are you playing on, Brad? Are you playing on the iArcade or the AtGames?
Oh, I'm playing the iircade. Hold on.
And that you got
That's
it.
AtGames. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, you're on that. You can play on AtGames. I don't care what
That's
you
fine.
play
I'll play on the iircade.
on. I don't care what you play on.
Yeah, I don't care. It's all the same game anyway.
Yeah. So I had to play until I beat my own high score.
Yeah.
So that's my current high score on that.
1660.
Yeah.
I have had no chance to practice because obviously I had the things going on with my dog this week, and then I was preparing for that interview, and I worked and I shampooed carpets. But I am going to do what I can. I have both of them on my iArcade. They're both working, Berserk and Frenzy. And
Yeah.
from what I could tell so far, Frenzy's a little bit better.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I was gonna say this earlier when yeah, look at those scores Papa Brad's put up. He's gonna blow away my 1660. You know, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for these two games, and so when I go back, I play them now. I'm just, you know, it's almost like a new thing to me, and as such, you know, I was kind of leaning more towards Frenzy as well. But
Yeah.
I practice Berserk more just because I figured that's probably the more iconic of the two. So
Sound okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now watch this. Brad is going to make short work of your score.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. So here comes Brad. He's shooting the robot. He's trying to go up. He's got the robot. Robot's dead. Next robot's dead. Next robot's dead. Here comes Evil Otto. Push the fire button in. Although it does no good. It does no good.
Oh, run, Forrest!
That was in my teeth.
I'm pretty sure Papa Brad has Wizard of War on his iArcade. And
We're not playing Wizard of War right now.
the organization asked.
Oh, welcome, organization.
You have it all. iiRcadians have all the games.
Yeah.
Welcome. Westside Ryan, does it play well in the iArcade? Yes, it does. It runs pretty good.
Perfect arcade.
Adventure is a fun game too. Here comes Evil Otto. Papa Brad is an intruder.
Yeah, my score's already in the dust. First try.
Oh, come on.
Oh man.
Oh! Got me from the side.
He's still got life though. How many do you get per quarter? 3?
Three, yeah.
Man, this is really old school.
It's fun though. I enjoy it.
It is.
I love the way the robots shoot each other. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah, and you get points for them.
It does kind of
Yeah, you
remind
do,
me of
you
Wizard
do.
of
And
War.
you-
Wizard of War is kind of.
You'll
copy, isn't
notice,
it?
like, if you kill all the robots, you get a bonus. Like, I just got 90.
Mhm.
Now, in Frenzy, you can kill Evil Otto, but this one you can't.
No.
Oh, man. Bad spot to start. Get out of this, guys.
Uh-oh, here they come.
Get some cover. We'll get some.
Oh.
Walk into the
Look at
wall.
the moves.
Here comes Evil Otto. Oh, that thing's coming fast, Brad.
Oh, run,
Yeah.
Forrest.
You made it.
I got this. I got this.
Oh, here we go. Oh, you barely missed that, man.
Barely.
Lucky. Uh-oh, man, that thing's
Let's
moving.
go to the top. Yeah, he's right on me. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that was dirty.
He lined me right up. You only get a second to move out of the crosshairs when it starts. It gives you about 1 second to figure out where to go.
Could you tell this game's Papa Brad's jam?
Yeah, this is my jam for sure. I love these old games. This is
I was gonna say all these old games are popping.
These old games are my jam. This is how fast he's shooting. These old games, I love these.
So are you a boomer or are you Gen X? Or
I'm old. Papa Brad's old.
Papa Brad's old.
I played Space Invaders when it came out. Enough said. The first, the main thing to get better at the game is learning to move right when it starts and get out of all the crosshairs. It's the hardest part. 4,360.
Damn, I'm so screwed. I
Someone
won't
put
last
that
that
in
long.
the chat. 4,003. Was it 4,360?
Jeez, man. All right, man.
You got this. You got this.
All
You
right.
got this. That was. I don't think it was my high score.
I'm gonna probably. I'll be happy if I could get higher than Mikey.
4,360.
That is your current high score on your
That's my current high
iArcade.
score. Wow. First try.
All right. I got Pacman Fever, so no. I'm gonna play Miss Pacman instead. No, I'm just kidding. All right, give me a minute here. I'm gonna take my turn at Berserk.
We're going berserk.
Yep, we're going berserk. Once again, my biggest tip I could say, for me, the main thing is when it first starts, it gives you about 1 second to figure out where all the robots are. You got to find where you're not going to get shot. And that's the way you'll improve your score the most in this game.
And what I've enjoyed about this whole process is that there's so many arcade games out there that, some of them I gravitated more to, some of them you did, Brad, some of them you did, Steps. And so it's like we give each other suggestions and you're like, oh, I never played this game. This game's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it is great. It is great. There's so many games that I've learned about from you and from Steps. I mean, I never played Sunset Riders until Steps told me about the game.
Well,
And now
Steps
it's one of my favorite beat 'em ups. I love that game.
Steps turned me on to Felios, and that's a fun shmup that I never even heard of, and it's hard. It's definitely a challenge, high score kind of chasing one. So I look forward to playing that one some more. Because when I was young, going to arcades and stuff, the first ones that pulled me in were the beat 'em up, Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon, Final Fight, Simpsons, those kind of things. And then when I got a little bit older, it was the fighting games. And so those are the ones that I played the most. But like the ones that were a little bit older that pulled me in the most. I mean, Pac-Man, obviously, everybody played Pac-Man. And then Rampage. When I would see a Rampage cabinet, I gravitated to that game as well.
All right, I'm gonna take a second run because.
Oh yeah, take a second run. You can do better than that.
Took 4.
Did I take 4? I know I took 2.
Yeah. I just need 1. 1 quarter will be enough.
I'd at least post a respectable score, everybody.
Yeah, you did. You did good. I think you got your high score.
I did. That was.
We
kind
both
of
got our high scores, so that's good. We're both winners.
And what's cool is it stays on iircade.
Yeah.
Which not every game does, but games that do, it's fun.
Yeah. These old games that play fantastic. 80s and 90s arcades are no problem.
Yeah. I hate it when you hit the wall.
I know. It's like they took away the electrified walls in Frenzy, but then they made walls that mirror shoot, where the bullets just come right back at you. So it's kind of a mixed bag, isn't it? It's
what happens if the robot kills itself?
The electric walls definitely increases the difficulty. And they have that as an option in Circus Interstellar, but it makes that game next to impossible.
Yes, West Side Ryan. I believe all 3 of us have Felios running on.
Yeah, we have that running.
All right, one more time.
we have a lot of the bangers running. It's insane.
Mm-hmm. Well, like I said before, it's almost a matter of what do you want to play at this point.
Yeah.
Oh,
if iircade would have allowed, I know we talked about this on iircadians, but if iircade would have allowed side loading, this console would have had a whole different life.
It would have.
It's a shame because it's such a good emulation device. It's completely had its hands tied. They had bring your own game like what AtGames does. Mm-hmm. This would have built a fan base.
Intruder alert. Intruder.
It's interesting that these games too were the Stern that makes pinball now.
I know. I was thinking that as
well. Intruder alert.
But everything was shifting to video games. Think about that time period. People weren't playing. They were making great pinball, but people weren't playing it as much. Everyone wanted to play video games. Then eventually the home video games became as good as the arcade games. And that was another game changer, It used to be when you went to the arcade, the games were a big upgrade, a big jump up.
Intruder alert.
Able to do at home.
All right, 1560. That's probably about as good as I get right now. I think he had 1660. So
yeah, I beat you by 100.
There you go. There you go. Well, maybe I should just go right into Frenzy, huh? Since I'm already.
There you go.
Since you're already on there, let's fire up some Frenzy. The
Before we go,
to
West Side Ryan would like to see some Felios running as well.
Well, after Frenzy.
Yeah, after we do the contest, we can run anything we want to see.
Yeah, because we had a plan, so we're gonna stick to the plan.
I saw Frogger on there.
So how many turns am I supposed to take? Just one?
Maybe
I'll take as many as you do, Steps. How about that?
Yeah. Maybe you two guys could take 3. Now this game, oh, she's gonna get the chicken. Now you see what it does. Since she ran out of the room without killing all the robots, it puts a wall up so you can't back out of the room.
Oh.
You can't shoot through. You can't shoot through the walls. Those little purple circles you can shoot through and make holes and shoot. You can shoot at the robots through the walls. That also means they can shoot at you through the walls.
Not the lined walls, though.
The lined walls reflect the bullets. Yeah, the bullet. Like the lined walls mirror the bullet back at you. You can do like bank shots though. It's pretty fun with the. Sometimes the robots will shoot at you and shoot themselves because of the reflective walls.
Robot attack.
Look at that. You can shoot.
Run! Oh. 74.
All right.
74. Best score so far.
Holy
Try.
score. This is second, isn't it?
Second try. Okay. Let's go with 3.
Robot attack.
Wow, look at that short timer on the Evil Auto. After you shoot him, you better
That's
hit the
confusing. You
reflective
can't
wall.
shoot.
Yeah. You'll notice his face changes from happy to like sad to like
Yeah,
dead.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Now, what's really cool is if you get to the stage where that has the giant happy face in the middle, if you kill the Evil Auto, like a whole bunch of them, like a swarm of them appear and attack you. Like, I hope I get to it. It's really a cool. I never even knew about it. I never got that far.
Oh man, there's a ton of them in this game.
Which one do you think is harder, Brad? Berserk or Frenzy?
Robot
Frenzy's
attack.
harder. Because I think it's
Oh,
you
look
can't
at coming
shoot
at you.
him.
I shot him, but I got hit, I guess.
Yeah.
I gotta start over if I get, but I still get more
The
points.
room recycles.
It's weird because some of the rooms have more enemies than
Be
others.
careful, that's a reflective wall.
Robot
Reflective
attack.
walls. Look at that! Your reflective shot hit the robot. The skinny skeletons. Yeah, just run out if you get under too much pressure. Now they're gonna shoot at you.
Oh, I didn't realize up there. I thought I was gonna start this other place.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, 16.
The skeleton robots make it harder because they're skinnier targets. That's also another thing that makes this game harder. And they know right where to stand, right where your bullets are going to just miss them.
The number of the beast was 666.
You can shoot through the wall. Shoot through the wall and shoot them. Shoot through the wall and shoot them. Shoot at the wall. Shoot at the wall and then shoot. Shoot through the wall. There you go.
There you
Now
go.
take them all out. And now get out of there because he's
Robot
coming.
attack.
He's coming. There you go. You got the 120 bonus too.
Okay, so you don't need to kill him.
Be careful of reflective walls. You can shoot through purple walls. You're going to get it. It just takes a little while. Yeah, the skinny robots get right where you can't hit them. So you got to just like what you're doing. There you go. The skeleton robots are skinnier. Be careful with your shots on that reflective wall. Shoot through the wall. Shoot through the wall and hit him.
Oh,
look at that. Look at
Robot
that.
attack.
She got a rug
Found
on
that-
too.
Yeah, I know. She was doing good.
All right, Dark Realm Gaming. Thanks for coming
Robot
in.
attack.
Ah. All right, here we go.
This is the better run now. Much better run. Wow, look at that. That reflective bullets go crazy on that one.
That diagonal shot's a challenge.
Robot
It is.
attack.
It is. I try to hit them like
comes the
horizontal and vertical as
auto.
much as I can.
Ah!
Oh, that was
Look
dirty.
at that. He shot through the wall, just like what you did.
2160. There we go.
2160. Good game.
21. All right, let me go next.
Good game, Steps. 2160. I put the score in the chat for you.
Awesome.
Good job. Yeah, like you want to shoot through the walls to shoot them. Once you got that, you can see immediately you started doing better. They're cheap though. I can't believe you shot through that wall and that robot got a beat on you. Like he's like, oh, I can shoot you through the wall.
Uh-huh.
But
Yes, we're playing Frenzy.
It's cool that you get Berserk and Frenzy on that Berserk, though. You do get two games on that one.
Yeah.
2 whole games.
Not on the Atari joystick, but on the New Wave.
Yeah, the New Wave Toys thing. That
New
is
Wave
kind of cool.
Toys.
That you get Frenzy either way.
My goal
get
was
the
to promote
Frenzy.
the New Wave Toys thing, but instead I was promoting Atari. So there you go.
Yeah. They send out a lot of review units for those New Wave Toys arcades.
Robot attack.
I'm gonna steal that from that wrestler. Thank you. I'm the self-proclaimed queen of Atari. Thank you.
There you go.
Oh.
Robot attack.
Here, I guess we could just
Got
do
some
this.
weird video, huh?
Oh yeah. it's
frozen?
not- no, I just removed him. Ad. There we go. Is it coming back?
Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. Yeah, looks like his capture card's getting bogged down or something.
Robot attack.
Damn, he's already got 1688.
1688 and counting.
He was practicing this one.
Yeah,
tell.
I think so. I think so. 1973. Well, it's just like the score skipping.
Oh yeah. Buy Stuff Arcade, Retromania Toppers. I guess that's similar to what Zabo does, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already beat my score. Good, right?
What's the score? 2,888?
Yeah. Yeah.
2,888?
Well, like I said, I was busy doing so many other things. Oh, it was fun.
Hey, what PCB do you have in that big blue?
Yoga Flame? Why?
Yoga Flame? I was just wondering because it wasn't on.
Oh, I didn't turn it on because the goal was just to block my dresser that has a bunch of stuff.
Oh,
stacked on
okay.
it. Yeah,
Okay,
that's why I
that's
moved
cool.
it over there.
Well, there we go. I'll take that score.
2,888 is the score to
he
beat.
doesn't care as long as he finishes second.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's all good.
Well, I
He's
know
like, he's like, I already finished second, so I'm good. I know I'm not going to get first. Here comes Brad.
Yeah.
Brad's going. He's looking for the robots. Oh no, he hasn't- he hasn't started. No bears. No bears.
this.
Half an hour later, after Brad scrolls through all his games, we're gonna get the friends.
Yeah, look at all these games. Look at all these games. Galaga, Frogger, Frenzy.
Frenzy.
That's beautiful.
Beautiful.
It's so weird because it beeps. It's like a black screen, and then it beeps at
Yeah,
you.
it's like the real
It's
arcade.
It sounds like my damn insulin pump. I'm like, what's wrong with my blood sugar? What's wrong with my blood sugar? I'm like, oh no, it's the game.
Check your microwave. Did I leave something in the microwave? Look at my high score, 7,195. That would be sweet if I did that.
What's wrong with my blood sugar? What's wrong with my blood sugar? I don't know. It's because I had that.
Diabetes. 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 Diabetes.
That's good stuff there, Steph. That's good. Diabetes. Diabetes. Mike Hawk hurts his head now.
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah.
See, they find it funny. They find it funny.
Diabetes. Diabetes.
See, I don't care. I don't care if we get super chats or not. We're just gonna air the video anyway because it's funny. The whole point is it's funny.
Right. Exactly.
Robot attack.
Oh,
Come
here
on,
comes
Skinny.
Evil Auto.
Come on, Skinny. Oh!
Oh!
Got me. Oh.
See, it works. It works really well because you can go. There's nothing sweeter than a $1.99 super chat, and when you eat too many sweets, you get diabetes.
Oh.
Well, and
Yeah.
for today's show, you know that you deserved a couple, in my opinion.
Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. You just count your blessings. Have a good, wonderful day. You know.
Oh, shot me through the wall. 2,163. Is that enough for the win?
No, it is not.
It is not.
That's nice reminder to take away my insulin before going out. See, I'm a type 1, and I have my daughter's type 1 as well. And so, you know. Yeah. Everybody wants pinball money. I want diabetes money.
So when he said that about the ET song being actually about his dog, did you know that?
No, I didn't know. I didn't think that was in the book. I purposely read the book and I listened to the album with his notes and everything. And I listened to an interview from Gary as well, but I didn't go through other people's questions and interviews. Like, I didn't want that. So what I did was I just listened to what he officially had, and then I asked the questions I wanted to ask. That was my plan. And I had 15 questions on paper.
You did good.
Yeah.
Well, I know you just recently lost your dog, so
yeah, that was a very hard decision to make because you know that is what it is. I'm gonna have to learn to live without my dog, unfortunately. But let's focus on Berserk. Much better topic, right? Much better topic. Here, I'll lighten the mood a little bit now.
Diabetes.
There, now I feel better. All right, Papa Brad's at 24-23. He is kicking some ass.
Says I can't let Mikey beat me.
Can't let Mikey beat me. Come on, suck him.
3,300. I like Frenzy better. I think it's better. I do. But it's just basically a better version of Berserk.
Oh!
Berserk is
lost some
definitely
hair
more
on that
famous.
one.
Yeah,
Man, I'm telling you, that was crazy. Oh, that was a little crazy. Oh my goodness. Like the wall.
He's already won.
He's won.
He's already beat Carlo as well.
Come on. Come on, robots shoot each other. There we go. Oh! Come on, run. Oh! Almost.
Dude,
Here it is. Here's a screen I want to show you. Oh, but I got 3 lives. I'm going to show it to you. This is super cool. Watch this. Oh my goodness. I'm losing it.
Now you're done? Oh, you got one more left.
Yeah, I got one more, but I got to make it work this time.
Dang, it's going everywhere.
Gotta get to where Evil Auto comes out. I want to show you this thing. Like a whole bunch of them will come out.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, watch this. This is
okay.
crazy.
So this is where they got the Clown Interstellar game with the juggler knot.
Okay, watch this. Watch how many come out. Look at them all.
Oh, he's mad. Oh,
Did you see him? Did you see him all? You saw his face change?
Yeah, he got mad.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh.
Okay, that was better. 5,739.
Damn.
There you go. There's a score worthy of Papa Bread.
Yeah, that was a Papa Brad score. I felt bad on the first try.
You want to show Filios, Brad?
Yeah, I can show it. Let me put it up. Fight.
How many games you got on your machine now, Brad?
Man, I got a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
Papa Brad is a pirate.
Got Nibbler.
Yo.
That's all that matters. I got Nibbler.
Why are we playing Nibbler? What is
I'm
that?
just showing some of these awesome games.
That's got to be a bad game, right?
It's fantastic.
Does Open Ice work, man?
It does, yeah.
Yes, it works. Helios, check this out. Man, we got art.
1 million games. The organization. That's why I imagine him saying it. 1 million games. Nibbler, another Stern.
Let's start, Brad.
Okay.
Filios.
So I was introduced to this game playing Sega Genesis version of this game at my friend's house. He had this game.
This is cool.
Yeah, it is a really cool game.
Yeah.
I remember borrowing it too. And I don't know, I was partial to it. It's a lot like Dragon Spirit, but I like it better.
Yeah, you can like charge your shot too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, take a whole row up.
Okay, wow.
This probably is my favorite shmup.
See, I've never even played this. New game. This is the first time I've played it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I downloaded it, but I didn't play it.
Yeah.
I like the theme. It reminds me of Clash of the Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember that Clash of the Titans movie?
Yeah.
The game is Filios.
Unicorn?
Phelios. Filios. It's my Namco.
We got Skeleton Warriors. What's that to like? Throwing axes? That boomerang axes?
Okay, Brad. Whatever score you get, that's what you get.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to show the game.
No, we're all having a challenge now, so we have a chance to beat you.
Oh yeah, you can beat me at this. I would think you're gonna beat me at this. I want to watch some of that Skid playing this because I'm just the first time playing it. Wow. My last life, huh? Oh man, it doesn't give you any progress. It's like,
No, it doesn't.
No, sucker, you started at the beginning,
Yeah.
all the way back.
Yeah, this is a high score chaser for sure.
Yeah, this is brutal. I want to see the first bosses at least.
Organization says, is this on any of the mini consoles?
No, but you could put it there. You could put it there, I think. I think I had to run in RetroArch on the Genesis Mini. It wouldn't play natively. I had to put it on the, RetroArch on the Genesis Mini.
This guy with his javelins.
Like, you click on Filios on the Genesis Mini, it'll load RetroArch and play the game. The downside to that, though, is you can't just exit the game and pick another game. You have to restart the Genesis Mini.
Heck, they had a plate on it. What? This is nuts.
The closest thing to this on a Mini is the Dragon Spirit game on TurboGrafx Mini.
Oh, you can hold on the button. That's awful.
At least I think it's on the TurboGrafx Mini. I know it's on the PC Engine Mini.
How cool is this? This is awesome. What company made this game? I've never even heard of it.
Namco.
This is the Namco game, okay.
Yeah, it's probably the same exact engine as Dragon
Dragon
Sphere.
Sphere. Yeah, I like this better than Dragon Sphere. Oh, I lost my rapid fire.
Oh, that's a good score though.
30,390. Very cool game.
You want to
All
play,
right.
Mikey?
Yeah, I'll get mine loaded up now.
What are you playing? Here we go. Mikey is taking his run at Helios. He's doing a good job dodging, weaving, jumping, shooting the skeletons. Get those bats. Oh, takes a life already. 2 lives remaining. Boom, power up, power up. Here comes the bats. Each batch of bats looks like it's worth like, what, 300 to 500 points? How many points are you going to get for killing them skeletons, man? How many points did Brad have? I don't even remember. Don't forget to press and hold when you have a line of enemies. Yeah. It's good advice. Don't forget to press and hold. Oh, I already read that. It's for super shots. $15,000. How many did Brad have? Where'd everybody go? Hello? People?
I'm here. I'm coming back.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my wife beat me for a minute.
Oh, okay.
Let me get this off. Hold on.
I'm back.
I guess
I'm back.
right.
I'm back.
All right.
Hold on.
I'm gonna go play one round of Helios, and I guess then we'll wrap things up, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I am not a Helios master.
Yeah, that's cool. Go back on here. I like the mythology theme. Very cool for a shmup. I have to play this one when I get some time. Organization reviews. Still, it remains a genuinely tough and engaging title. And now the ultra mild sexual scenes, along with the hilariously loose use of Greek mythology. Yeah, I love those Ray Harryhausen movies. That's what this reminds me of. I think I was in 30,000, yeah, something like that.
33 or something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing spectacular, but this is a game I think you have to play. You know, I mean, like I didn't know what was going on half the time. I mean, I love the way it scrolls with the perspective. It's very unique.
Yeah, when I got to this when I was practicing through it one of these days, and it's definitely a fun change of pace when you get to it. You're like, oh, you know.
You think the show will end up on your rock and roll show?
There's a good chance. There's a good chance.
Yeah, when does your next show come on with the rock and roll?
Tuesdays at 10:30 p.m.
Yeah, man, I love that. That's a great. I love putting on in my arcade, listening to you and play some games with some great music. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You know, try to have fun.
It's a different format too. I like it. No one does that format of playing music like that.
Oh, I've gotten to this before. And I was like, what the heck is going on here?
What could be cooler than being a Greek flying a Pegasus? How about giant skulls with fire coming out of their eyeballs? I mean, this is cool.
Temple of Medusa.
This is some straight up Clash of the Titans, man.
Yeah.
I'm digging this game. I'm definitely have to give this one.
Oh no!
God, the difficulty is brutal. It reminds me of Truxton.
Yeah,
I mean, it's at that Truxton level for sure. This is like a high difficulty game. But those to me are the best ones because they keep you playing. You know?
Yeah,
they pull you in. There's nothing worse than playing a game and the first time you play it, you get to the end and it was easy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You played those kind of games where like you play them and it's just like, well, it's over now. You know? What do I do now? I beat the game.
And that's so many modern titles too.
Yeah.
I've gotten to this Medusa before.
That Medusa's pretty badass.
Yeah.
Boy, it gives you nothing. It's like, nope, you got to play it all again. You want to get to the boss? You know, most games would they would just dump you at the boss, right?
Yeah.
This game gets you no slack.
This one. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not real familiar with the Namco shmups, you know.
I played Dragon Saber on my show last week, and that's another one that's really hard.
Similar game.
Yeah. It might even be made by Namco. I'm not.
Papa Brad got over 30,000.
Yeah.
Then you win, dude. You
really? How did I win? You got further than me.
I got 20,000 points. I got further than you though. That's interesting.
I didn't get the Medusa.
I had 20,000 some points.
Let me rewind. Hold on. I got my
Carlos said he got 39,530. Never played that one. Really like it. Thanks for the recommendation.
It's a good one. It's a good one, man. That's a good one. It's a good one.
Oh, I did get that. I did get that crazy shot with the
yeah, you were probably
that rapid fire shot.
That was probably leveling, getting you.
Yeah, I was killing all those dragons. Yeah, 30,390. 30,390. I just watched it.
Okay.
30,390.
First go on Felios.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had a very fun, interesting evening. At first, I was really nervous that that Jerry wasn't gonna get here.
Yes, we were all winners. We were all winners tonight.
Hopefully, you realized that when I got off the stream that I was talking to Jerry.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's what we figured. No, yeah. we were just like, we're taking over Steph's channel.
Hey, we kept it going. We had a good Atari conversation going.
Yeah. But it was great. The evening I'll remember for a long time, and did enjoy playing some games at the end, letting things wind down. And now I'm ready.
Thank you so much for inviting me on your show.
Yeah,
I
You're
just want to
welcome.
say it's always a pleasure streaming with you. I've always enjoyed like doing streams with you. So I just want to let you know. Thank
I
you.
enjoyed doing streams with you too, and this
Thank
was a
you.
good one. This was definitely one you did. That was a good one for you because you're of that era.
Yeah, this is right in
And
my
it was
my-
like this is a stream that Papa
Mm.
Brad needs to be at, because for me, like, my era may be more the Filios, you know, more the
Yeah,
Street Fighter
yeah.
2, but I have an appreciation for the history of games, and I've been trying to pay more
too.
attention to this generation of games because
Yeah.
I missed a lot of it. Nobody missed Pac-Man. I mean, everybody's played
Right.
Pac-Man, but a lot of people probably have missed Berserk.
Yeah.
And even titles like Frogger in some instances. Maybe
Yeah,
some,
but I mean,
yeah.
you can like Berserk and like Street Fighter Alpha 3 though. It's okay. It's okay to
okay.
like different things. There's nothing wrong with that.
I first played Centipede this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there you go.
You know, the retro games were very much about using the technology they had, which wasn't much, to make good, challenging games with that, you know, have a lot, you know, easy to learn, difficult to master. That's the best 80s games are all like that.
Hey,
Yeah.
if you could put a quarter in it, and you know it was either stand up or sit down, you know, I was into it.
So Mikey J, I heard you put over your show, and I put over your show before, so you know I don't need to do it another time, but because you just did, and I've done it before. But Brad, what are you up to?
Man, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to 2,500 subscribers.
Woo!
Papa Brad is rolling. I love making shorts. You know, I stream when I want to, what I want to, you know, and it's just fun, you know, and I just look forward to, you know, continuing to enjoy this arcade hobby that we're all part of, you know, having fun. It's all about.
Is it true that I will now be moderating the 2024 presidential debates? If our choices are between Biden and Trump, I think I'm gonna have to pass because I think they both suck.
Yeah, we could have Steps, and we could have, who's that crazy guy with the beard, that musician? He's all over the news. The crazy guy with the beard and the guitar. You don't know? I don't know. That's all that keeps popping in my YouTube feed.
Man, I'm just like, anybody else run. I don't care. Anybody.
ZZ Top?
No, this guy's got the #1 song supposedly. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. From Michigan? Who's from Michigan? I visit Michigan a lot. My family has a vacation house in Michigan. Not me. Don't take that the wrong way. I live in Indiana, but I do visit Michigan. So
I'm from Michigan.
Oh, you're from Michigan. There you go.
I'm in Michigan right now as we speak.
Are you west or east?
I am central.
You like Lansing-ish?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I go up to the northern region, you know, like Traverse City, Petoskey, that kind of thing. Yeah, I like the UP. It's great.
Yeah,
Ted
that's where I spend my summers. Oh, Ted Nugent. Yeah.
Man, I used to work at a concert venue. Surprise, surprise, spoiler. And I am working in front of the stage, and it's the Kiss Farewell Tour, one of the 20. I think it was the first one with the original band. It's like 1999-ish.
Yeah.
And Ted Nugent is the opening act. He comes out. He's wearing an Indian headdress and a Confederate flag cape. And he goes, "If you don't speak any English, then get out of my concert right now." And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow.
How do you say, even in 1999, it was like,
a little shocking.
I don't think that's okay, Ted. And yeah, exactly.
That's okay. We were talking about the creator of Pac-Man. He would get canceled today for what he said about when he created Pac-Man. His whole thing was when he created Pac-Man, he said, "I wanted to make a game for women. And what do women like to do? They like to eat. So I designed a game around eating." This is literally his words in an interview I watched. But he also talked about how it came from taking a slice out of pizza, and that's where the shape came from. But interesting, you know, a lot of stuff. Like if you go back, you know, people are very cancel crazy today. Everyone wants to cancel everybody.
You're canceled, Brad, just for saying.
I know. I've been trying for years. So good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I am going to end the stream then. I will be back on Friday afternoon. I don't know if I'm gonna go at 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. I haven't made up my
Go
mind.
at 5. Go
5?
for drive time.
Let's
Yeah.
go for 5.
It's
All
better
right.
because more people can watch. People
5
getting off
p.m.
work.
5 p.m. will be good. We'll go at 5 p.m. Friday, the 5 p.m. early show or whatever.
5 p.m.
Yeah.
Friday step show.
Yeah,
And
yeah. Drive
then,
time streams are great.
Steps Arcade Bash. I think we should do more Arcade Bash, and we'll see who visits next week and what the theme is. I need to get some rest. And so I'm going to end the stream. I am now the self-proclaimed Queen of Atari. Thank
Yes.
you! End broadcast.